So what episode is this of the podcast?
The best one!
Welcome to the 6-Star Podcast with your host, Dark Viper AU, which is me, obviously, and TGG, my co-host, and co-owner. Words. I'm just so excited about the topic of this podcast, that being the GTA 6 trailer 2 and all the other stuff that we got from Rockstar after they delayed the game and then gave us all of this seemingly as an apology.
Imagine someone coming from last episode to this episode and just noticing the instant vibe shift.
We're so down last night. I'm like, man, so we got somebody like over a year to wait and we got nothing. Yeah. And I was like, yes, we have things.
Last week was absolute doomsday. Everyone was sad. And now this is the best week to be a GTA fan in a decade.
Does anyone remember what we predicted last week in terms of when they were going to drop additional information?
Definitely Tuesday. I'm pretty sure we both definitely predicted
exactly.
that.
I think we were exactly on the money. No one remembers. So yeah, we were on the money to the hour. Actually, we said May 6th, like 11:30 our time PM.
Yeah, exactly. We both weren't getting ready for bed or anything. We were there waiting for the trailer. We knew it was coming out.
So for those who have been living under a rock, on May 6th, Rockstar released GTA 6 Trailer 2. At almost 3 minutes, it was double the length of Trailer 1, which is awesome. And
it is awesome.
We want to start off with, where were we both and when this happened and how quickly did we learn about it?
It's so funny. Last week, people were kind of making fun of us in the comments because we were talking about where we were when the game got delayed, like it was 9/11 or something. Yeah. And now this is the sequel.
But it's interesting, right? It's interesting because like I have missed what did I miss? I think because I was late to Trailer 1 by many hours because I was asleep or no that was right. It released, it leaked, and I was like I'm just gonna wait for the official release. Then I started editing, and then Rockstar stealth dropped it early, and I missed out on it entirely. This time though, I was on the ball just coincidentally. I go on Discord and I open my thumbnail editor's DMs, and he's like, "Oh, so I've started working on a thumbnail for this." I'm like, "What thumbnail? What do you?" I'm looking at this like confused, like, "What? Why is he working on some random thumbnail for something I've never heard of?" I'm like, "Is this GTA 6? What is he talking about?"
You don't have notifications on?
No, I don't have it on for Discord. No, because I'm just always on
for like Rockstar Games' YouTube channel.
No, I have notifications.
We gotta change that.
Nah,
come on.
Actually, that's a good point. Why? That's a good point actually. For Rockstar's YouTube channel, maybe I should have notifications on.
I think you probably
I'll fix that afterwards. But regardless, this was 6 minutes after the drop, and I just happened to see it. And then I looked at my DMs, and there's like 57 messages, like, "Oh my god, the trailer's out!" But so I got onto it within 6 minutes this time, which was better than
That's much better.
Any other time before. What about you?
Yeah, well, for me, so I just got in my pajamas. I just got in bed.
I was about
pull
to
out my phone. I'm going to scroll, I don't know, whatever social media or play a game or something. And it pops up. And it was the same thing that happened on Friday, right? Where random time, you get a notification from Rockstar Games about GTA 6. And your first reaction is, it's another fake from some random account that I'm getting notifications for. And I look at it and I click on it and I see the official Rockstar Games YouTube channel. And I am like, I was obviously very excited and happy, but my girlfriend was leaving for work. It's at like midnight. And I'm like, oh my God. She says, "What's wrong? What happened?" They just dropped Trailer 2. And then I run, try and get changed, throw clothes on, just like I did with Trailer 1. Actually, I was in the exact same spot when Trailer 1 got leaked. I just got into bed.
I guess
so lucky.
The time for us is, well, it could be worse, I suppose. Like Rockstar could drop stuff at 3 a.m. consistently, but at least they're dropping it when we're awake. I'll never go to bed before midnight ever, just in case Rockstar...
I'm not sleeping until the game comes out, actually, so...
But yeah, so what were your impressions of the trailer?
Well, I said "gat" a lot. There was, that was kind of the point of the trailer, right? It's meant to be a sexy trailer. It is. So obviously there was a lot of that. Jason, absolutely jacked. Lucia, looking amazing. Hot, obviously.
So do you think they're different from trailer 1? I suppose this is later stuff we can talk about, but like Jason and Lucia, do you think their models have changed?
Both been pretty remodeled. Yeah, Jason definitely. And if you look closely at Lucia's face as well, a bit of a different shape. So yeah, definitely.
Not just a matter of like, different points of the game. They could have like different physiques.
No, definitely remodeled. And that's true for almost all of the characters in the screenshots and trailers that we saw in trailer 1.
Those two guys, the guy with the gold grill and then the diamond teeth in the second trailer, those two guys, I thought they were different characters. But if you look, their bling is the same. Yeah, and you're like, well, then they have to be the same. But they're so different.
I didn't expect to get called racist on Twitter, but you'd never put it past anyone on Twitter. But I put that out and said, I didn't realize these were the same two guys. And people
so
who,
different.
I guess, people who didn't really look close enough at the images, I guess, just said, not everyone looks the same, TGG. And I'm like, man, okay, have a look closer. You can see, if you actually look at these characters wearing the exact same 3 necklaces, the bald guy who was bald in trailer 1 has clearly been remodeled a bit. He has hair now, but he has the exact set of skull tattoos in the exact same point on his left shoulder. And look, there's a lot of people that don't think these are the same characters, saying that they're just similar looking characters. Rockstar just reused assets. But in promotional pieces like this, there is no way Rockstar would just duplicate outfits onto people they're using to promote the game. It's quite clear that these have been, yes, they do look different. That's because they've been remodeled characters.
Like, if every other character in the trailer was exactly the same as trailer 1, maybe you'd have an argument that they were meant to be different characters or something. But given that all the characters seem to have evolved and changed in some small way, and that in Rockstar's previous releases, comparing the trailers, the characters did evolve over time. Even the main characters in GTA 5, from the early trailers to the later ones, they changed over time.
Oh, completely. Heaps.
Exactly. This is perfectly within Rockstar's wheelhouse or what they do. Evolving the characters in the exact styles in their pretation towards the end of development.
And if you look at the Real Dime sisters as well, the girls on top of the car in trailer 1 dancing, they look completely different. Different hairstyles. A bunch more tattoos have been added to them as well. But you can see they're the same characters. They have the same RR necklace, I think it is. That's Roxy. She has that double R necklace.
I actually hadn't made that connection. I was actually afraid to call some of the characters the same because they were that different.
They look so different.
Yeah. But other impressions, like I obviously was blown away by the trailer. Like I shed a tear at the end of it. Like I was just like,
dude, I was tearing up.
This is the most awesome thing I've ever seen. And like I've never expectedly waited for something for so long and been so hyped for something and seen like the culmination of what I'm expecting or what I want shown before me. It sucks to have to wait over a year for it, but I've never had this experience with anything, not even GTA 5, because I came to GTA 5 like a year after release, or at the very least, like I knew it was out on console, but I never played it. I wasn't in the hype cycle before that came out, and were you around for that? The hype cycle for GTA 5?
I would have been before GTA 5. I was 14 when I first played it, so I was about 13.
Yeah.
But I was watching the YouTube videos. I was in and amongst the community a little bit.
Well, maybe neither of us can speak firsthand, but I'm pretty confident that the hype for GTA 5 was not on the same level as the hype for GTA 6.
It was a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, GTA 6...
compared to this.
Yeah, we waited a lot longer for GTA 6, collectively, us as a community, and there's just more gamers, more people, more content creators generating hype and stuff. This is on a different level than anything else. And you can see in the trailer numbers, right? Like...
100 million views already for trailer 2.
In a couple of days.
Trailer 2. Like, I don't think people... And that's just on YouTube. I don't think people quite understand how insane that is. Not just for a first trailer, for a second trailer for a game. That is absolutely insane. And, it's not often that you wait that long for a second trailer.
Yeah.
And then actually, like, when your expectations are so high for GTA 6, and to see the trailer and still have your expectations exceeded is insane. And it's a testament into how great the game looks.
So trailer 1 got 93 million views in one day, I believe. This second one got 68, 69 million, if I'm correct on that.
Do you think it would have got 69? I think it was.
Yeah.
Do you think it would have got more if Rockstar announced it beforehand or no?
Possible. Well, you'd assume so, because then people would have been expectantly waiting for it. Although... Yeah, because some people didn't hear about the trailer releasing. Like, not everyone's terminally online like we are.
Yeah.
And of course, the difference between trailer 1 and trailer 2 was that apparently trailer 1 was exclusive to YouTube. I didn't hear that. Was that some deal between Google and Rockstar? But the second trailer released in a lot more different places day one. And so apparently it generated 475 million views. According to Rockstar,
half a billion.
Half a billion over the course of many different platforms. And so... I guess day one, trailer 2 technically got more views collectively than trailer
that's
1.
Insane.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy.
For a second trailer to get more views than a first one.
Yeah. Even if it was on more platforms. And it shows the hype isn't dying down. People want to see more. This game is going to break every number conceivable for gaming.
Do you think it can beat GTA 5's record of, 220 million copies sold?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Because there's more gamers. There's just more gamers. And it part would depend on how many platforms it goes on to. Like, if they're not going to throw it on PC day one, but if they did, they would obviously beat that. But it's going to smash those records, I think. Even I suppose there are more gamers. I suppose there's more competition in gaming now. There's more games out. But I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any new games around the time of GTA 6 dropping to be direct competition. It's just there's just more forms of entertainment now that are more easily accessible than there was back in 2013. Yeah, it's a different landscape, but I still think GTA 6 will just smash those records.
You would think so, right? Yeah. Because trailer 2 for GTA 6 almost already has more views on YouTube than GTA 5's biggest trailer.
Yeah.
The trailer 2 and trailer 1 has over double the amount of views of GTA 5's first trailer, and that's had 14 years to cook on YouTube.
It's just really hard to remember how simple things were back in 2013 when it came to YouTube and Twitch and stuff. Like, I've gone back and watched like the first live streams of some of the top Twitch streamers, and they're just the most bare bones nothing.
Yeah.
Like content creators were like not a force back in 2013 or leading up to that. And YouTube was a lot smaller. Twitch was a lot smaller. Like I hadn't even started streaming. I guess I had a handful of YouTube videos on there, but I hadn't started streaming on Twitch because I started in 2014. It's just such a different environment, and that's probably why
it was a lot harder to stream as well. And make videos.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a lot more accessible now, and it's just a lot more content, a lot more people. So there's just more people means more people that GTA 6 can capture, in my view. What excited you most about the trailer? Like, if you got to pick one or two elements of it that you were like, "Fuck yes."
Well, and not just the trailer itself, but the news wire and the website and the screenshots we got with it.
I'm kind of wrapping all that together in this talk, yeah.
If we're talking about that, it's the scale. It has to be, right? Like, we not only got to see more of the Leonida Keys and Vice City, we got Mount Caliga, we got Port Gellhorn, we got Ambrosia, we got the Grass Rivers.
Yeah.
That's 4 different, essentially, cities or biomes that we kind of didn't really know about. You knew if you looked at the leaks from 2022, but most people didn't even know about.
I didn't know. I had not seen the leaks. I kept myself away. And obviously most people aren't as online as us to even go looking for those leaks if they want to. I was just going to say, adding on to that, there was the suggestion of even more areas based on like the number plates and stuff.
Yes.
What were those names? George or something?
Yeah. Do you want to?
If you got the names,
I have a theory. I don't know if you want to talk about this because could be getting into potential spoilers. I know you didn't want to talk about the mapping project.
No, you can. Well, I mean,
okay.
Be as light as you can if you like. Just.
Okay. So Mount Caliga in the description on the website is up against the northern border of Leonida. Now, why is that interesting? Well, if Leonida was supposed to be the map, and we're up against a border, that would imply that there's more stuff beyond the border. So this means one of two things. One would be that the map isn't an island. Because if it's on a border, the land has to keep going.
Yeah.
Right? Or perhaps there is another state in the map. Kind of like, let's say, what Red Dead Redemption 2 did, where you had the main map, and then you had a smaller, well, not really much of a smaller section off to the bottom left, where Red Dead 1 takes place, right? It could be something like that. Now, in the screenshots, we saw a few things. We saw Gloriana license plates, not just Leonida, we saw Gloriana, which is Georgia, which is a different state in the US, which borders on Florida. So, are those just there for fan service or just to expand the lore of the universe? Or are we actually going to be able to go to Gloriana? We also saw what looks to be another state. I can't remember which state it was. And then we also saw a Liberty City license plate in the trailer as well. Now, this gets very interesting with Liberty City because that's where Lucia is from. Now, how speculative do you want to get here? Last year, Rockstar Games took down a Liberty City map mod. Why would they do that?
Yeah, I guess it's possible. Because I believe there have been rumors, if not things hinted at by Strauss Zelnick over the years, where they had suggested that they wanted to make smaller games and add to them over time or some such. Was something that was said a million years ago. But it's so hard to remember what's rumor, what's speculation, da-da-da.
I think it might have been Jason Schreier that said that back in 2020 during one of the first big articles about GTA 6.
Possibly then.
Possibly.
Who knows with Jason, but... So it wouldn't surprise me if one of the things that Rockstar wanted to correct with GTA 6 was the criticism of GTA 5, where people were like, dude, give us some more islands, give us some more land, expand this map. We've been here for 10 years. And Rockstar's like, okay, GTA 6 will make with the possibility or with the expectation that we will build out additional states, additional areas, additional islands. Whenever I envisioned GTA 6, I envisioned an island, but I mean, America, each state isn't an island, right?
Exactly.
It could be possible that they could do things like other games having huge mountains that you can't pass over or something, rather than what we have with GTA 5, where we're flying out into the water and our vehicles just stop working. If I was going to bet, I would say they're probably going to lead with additional expansions of additional areas, rather than having all these million areas available in day one. But I suppose you would have a more informed opinion because of the mapping projects. The mapping project is just like a bunch of people who are using all the information given in the trailer's official stuff, as well as leaks, to build out the map of GTA 6 and where everything likely is in relation to everything else. And they've gone very granular. Apparently, it's really, really good. And it's going to be interesting to see how accurate they
analyze
were.
Every pixel, every single pixel of the trailer.
Every
not just
reflection,
the trailer
every
that
pixel.
Leaks.
Yeah.
And we have right now, if you go over to the website VI Map, you just type in VI Map or GTA 6 mapping project, you'll see that we have a rough idea, a pretty decent idea of what the map is going to look like right now. We've got the keys at the bottom, Vice City on the middle right of the map. Middle left side of the map is going to be Port Gellhorn. Then there's a bit of a debate going on about where Ambrosia is. We know it's going to be in the middle of the map. Is it above or below Lake Leonida? That's a bit of a debate going on with the mappers right now, and then we've got the top of the map, which is going to have Mount Caliga. And the mappers right now are in the process of really mapping this out. And we should get a better look at, the map over the next few weeks.
So that's the main thing that got you excited. The idea of how expansive this is and how potentially how expensive they're going to be with it.
Yes. Yeah. What do you think about this whole Liberty City thing? Because, we see the license plate in the trailer for Liberty City. We get the lore drop on the website that Lucia is from Liberty City. And we also, that's where her family is from. Now, if we talk about the story, which we'll get into here, we know that Lucia ended up in prison, not because a heist went wrong with Jason, but because she was fighting to protect her family. So, what do you think the chances are that we will get a prologue with Lucia that gets her in prison in Liberty City? Like North Yankton in GTA 5.
Well, it could, well, I guess it could be the case that because it says it's starting with a heist gone wrong.
Well, I don't think that's actually what it said. So it said Lucia got in prison fighting for her family. Then it said when a heist goes wrong with Jason, her plans go off the rails or whatever they said. But what got her in prison was actually protecting her family, supposedly, from the website. I
just mean, Red Dead 2, the central premise of that is a heist going wrong. And we kind of start after that in Red Dead 2. And in GTA 5, we start with the heist going wrong in a backstory. GTA 6 starting with another heist going wrong, and that being the prologue would be like the same thing as GTA 5. Would they do that same thing again? I mean, it's a good way to start a game. Are you suggesting that they're going to have a heist going wrong in Liberty City, and that's going to be the prologue that we're going to experience?
I don't know that it would be a heist. I think it could be something to do with Lucia's family. Who knows? If she's protecting her family, that could mean a bunch of things. Yeah. Maybe one of her family members gets killed. It doesn't necessarily mean that Lucia's the one out robbing places. Could be like a Batman or origin story type thing, where in an alley and her parents end up dying or something like that.
And she becomes a criminal rather than a woman who stops a crime. Yeah, I don't know.
Batman's a criminal, hey?
Well, he's vigilance. Yeah, I mean, okay, he commits crimes. True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They've done Vice City before, but hell, they've done Miami before, so it's entirely possible they could want to redo Vice City.
Liberty City.
Why did I say Vice City? Liberty City. Thank you for that correction. I'm sure the comments would have just savaged me something fierce for that mistake.
You know what would be like the funniest thing, though? I was just thinking, this is a shower thought. Jason obviously was in the military. We get that on the newswire. What if the first mission in GTA 6 is just Jason in the middle of like a war, and everyone loads up the game and is like, what am I playing right now? Did I buy the right game?
But
that would be funny.
Anyway. You never know. From my experience with the trailer, the two things that excited me most, one being a more minor thing, is the idea that the combat is going to be better. Like, I love seeing Jason chuck a guy into a car, and I loved seeing Lucia kickboxing kind of thing, which is more reminiscent of even when GTA 5 came out. By comparison to games around that time, the melee combat was garbage in GTA 5.
Yeah.
Is the thing that I think was the worst element of the game compared to games from around that time. Even GTA 4, it was better. But I recently played Sleeping Dogs, and you're just like grabbing anything and just chucking it at people, or just you have like 17 environmental kills if you want, and you compare that to GTA 5. Like I just recently played through all of GTA 5 melee only, and it was the most egregiously terrible thing. One of the most annoying challenges I've ever done, and all the melee weapons sucked. Like literally punching people was more efficient for killing enemies than using the weapons, because you could more easily get the one-hit kills. And even the fisting,
Whoa!
Pause. even the fighting with your fists was garbage as well. And seeing that potentially fixed for GTA 6, I can't wait. And I'm sure the main reason why it wasn't very good in GTA 5 is that they just ran out of time. Like, it was just a minor thing to them. Because they could clearly do better, as shown by GTA 4. And now that they've had more time, they're going to fix that for GTA 6.
It honestly looks like there could be like a cage fighting or some sort of fighting
as a minigame
side activity as well. Yeah. So if that's going to be the case, then you would assume the melee combat's a lot better.
Especially considering that Lucia's noted as a person who's been fighting since she was young or whatever, and trained by... Did you say trained by a family or a father or something?
I think it was her father.
Yeah, father.
Yeah, in Liberty City.
And shows her like as a boxer, not just in the trailer, but in the pictures. So you'd assume that there's going to be some...
And throughout the entire trailer, she's got a boxing glove necklace on as well. So, fighting is going to be a core part of her identity. Yeah.
I actually saw someone suggest that was the boxing glove is potentially a vague reference to Breaking Bad, because there's the...
It was a character in maybe... Better Call Saul?
Oh, no, he's in both. It's Tuco, right? Is his name the crazy dude? Doesn't he have like two boxing gloves on his... Who knows if that's actually a connection, but I saw some people saying that. But the other thing that excited me a lot was just how vibrant and lived in the world seemed. Like, everyone seemed to have a personality and be distinct, and you're not seeing duplicate models everywhere and whatnot. The thing that stands out in my mind when I think about the current generation of GTA games is this one time when I was playing GTA Online, and I went into this party in the game where I was meant to pick up something, a key, item, doesn't matter. But the entire room was just like NPCs standing around doing nothing. Like, they just look like soulless models. Like, you could have put models from a clothing store there and it would have made a goddamn difference. And well, that's like the extreme worst end of the feel of that in these games. When you think about GTA 5 and stuff, it doesn't feel like a real world with real people in it. It's like you are a character and they're just like there for you. But looking at the trailers, it looks like an actual world that we're going to be dropped into, where people are going about doing their jobs, whippersnipping the road, or edge trimming or whatever, and they're actually doing jobs and stuff. It's gonna feel like taking out trash. Then there's raccoons just going through the trash. The hell of it. It looks like a world that we're going to be dropped into, and we're just happening to follow two of the people in that world, as opposed to the only two people who actually live in the world. And that had me so excited, because it just looks so cool. And the level of passion and skill that would be required to create something like that is just unbelievable. And you can understand why.
The beer has bubbles. The beer has bubbles. The beer has bubbles.
Not exactly the same thing, but definitely the level of detail, the level of attention to detail is crazy.
People are going to live their lives in this game. And when RP eventually comes out, when it comes to PC, like, people will quite literally actually live their lives in this game.
I mean, in the past, there has been like those sim games where people would actually get jobs like making stuff for the game, and they could live a good life selling digital items within that game. And I wonder if GTA 5 will, GTA 6 will get to the point where that's possible for people to do as well. That it's not just going to be content creators making videos in the game. It's going to be people making things for the game that generate them revenue, which I guess people kind of do, because people get employed to make stuff for 5M currently, and that's their job. So they're making digital items for 5M that ultimately generates them an income. So we'll just see an expansion of that.
It'll be taken to another level, especially with Rockstar supposedly, judging by how much you want to read into the Project Rome leaks over the last year, Rockstar might be encouraging more user-generated content throughout the lifespan of the game. So people could, genuinely make careers. This will launch an insane amount of careers, not just in the content creation, but for literal creating content for GTA within the game itself, like you said. So
an interesting aspect of the trailer, as is said at the very end of the trailer, and Rockstar clarified, is that everything was captured on a base PS5. They didn't exactly say base PS5, they just said PS5. That they left off Pro implies that it was
I think they would have, Yeah,
if it was a Pro, they would have said it. And they also said half of what we saw was gameplay. And that, like, when they said that, I thought back and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess a lot of that could have been gameplay, and I believe them looking back over the trailer. But like that, I didn't see like a mini map in the corner and like a little like a number for the gun in the top right. It didn't make me immediately recognize it as gameplay. But when you look back at like obvious things like Lucia shooting the grenade launcher and blowing up a bunch of cars and stuff, and like the more you pixel peep, you're like, this is probably gameplay. Like
Jason walking into the house as a cutscene transition, like they did in Red Dead 2. I think anything that was taking place in a vehicle was probably gameplay with Rockstar Editor.
Yeah.
You can just sort of capture the cinematic shot, I guess, but safe to assume a lot of that was gameplay.
Yeah, very, very interesting stuff. So that's what the game is going to look like for us.
Which is insane. On a base PS5.
On a base PS5, yeah. But it is apparently going to be, well, have they confirmed it's going to be 30 FPS, or is that the speculation based on the...
That's a rumor. You did see, like, don't want to criticize a game that's not finished, obviously, but towards the start of the trailer, during that scene with Jason and Brian, you did notice a bit of a frame rate drop there if you look closely. I think it probably dropped to about 15 to 20 frames.
Yeah.
Sort of as you transition to Jason walking into the house. So... frame rates.
There are scenes where, if you look really closely and look far out, like there's an image where you're seeing the entire city or something, and if you can look at the reflections of the water, and you can see where the draw distance for the reflections actually ends and stuff. So it's not like they're not going insane with it, I suppose. Although they're not using some trickery to put together images that are of different angles or something. But
at the end of the day, it still is a video game, which is
it's bound by the laws of physics. And I think the reason why 30 FPS seems most likely and believable to people, even if they haven't confirmed it, is because the game looks so amazing, and we know what the PS5 is capable of. It's hard to imagine that even with Rockstar's magic, that they're getting that to 60 FPS consistently. And so, do you think it's going to be 30 FPS? Do you think it's going to be performance mode, or?
I would guess that it'll be 30, with maybe the PS5 Pro having like a Pro option to hopefully increase it a bit further.
The PS5 Pro ain't that much stronger than
like
doubling
the FPS.
Extra
frames.
Yeah, I
maybe like 40, 50.
Possibly. Like, I think on some level, people have bought GTA 5 specifically to get access to 60 FPS, and Rockstar probably wants to make the best game visually that they can. And if they target 30 FPS and build the game around that, rather than splitting their time to optimizing two different gameplay modes, they're probably going to make a singular gameplay mode that's more consistent and better optimized. And that not only would make the 30 FPS more stable and consistent and better visually, but it will also give them the option to sell that 60 FPS further in the future. And given that they've done that in the past, I think that's what they're going to do this time as well. I don't want to say there's not going to be performance mode, but I doubt it's going to be a 60 FPS performance mode. They want to give that additional FPS bump in the next generation of consoles,
which honestly probably isn't going to be that far away. Right, like the end of 2026, maybe 2027.
Yeah, it's crazy to think we are almost at the end of the life cycle for the PlayStation 5.
And so many people still haven't had the chance to get their hands on one yet.
No, and the amount of games that really mattered this generation, I suppose, as PC gamers, who are we talking about? I mean, I've heard most people who play on consoles being like, bro, where's the games? They've been
With how long game development takes now, like,
yeah, that's a good point.
We've barely seen, like, we're only really starting to see now games come out that were developed for this generation of console. Yeah. Like, most game developers only dropped PS4 and Xbox One off the compatibility list over the past year or two. So this generation, in a way, has only just, like, started, and it's coming to an end. So yeah,
so this Rockstar would probably know more about this than us and would be preparing themselves, because they would obviously be in direct talks with Sony, considering that apparently Sony was involved in the marketing of the game, and there was a pseudo parody of a PlayStation in the trailer. Do you think that is cool. The next PlayStation that's going to be coming out, or is it just a parody?
No. Rockstar doesn't include real things. It's all parodies. But what was cool is it's available for wishlist on PS5 now. You can wishlist the game.
Apparently,
which just looking at that was just so surreal. It's real. The game is real.
Apparently, it is going to be wishlistable on Xbox soon. I saw that on Twitter somewhere. But that was obviously going to happen. But you got any speculations to why you think Rockstar is in bed to some degree with PlayStation?
Money.
I guess money. They want more money, of course, but
money.
And I guess they pick PlayStation over Xbox because PlayStation has clearly won this generation of consoles. And Nintendo, who knows if the game will be on the Switch at all? I mean,
do we really? I mean, come on, man.
Well, I mean, it'd be hard enough to run on a Switch 2. Is the Switch 2 out? That's happened, right?
It's coming out.
It's coming out.
I don't want to be that guy, but someone's got to be that guy. Come on, we want it on the best hardware possible. We don't want this game to be limited or restricted in any way.
No. But I mean,
we've been waiting so long for it.
Games have, in the past, wizardry to get them onto consoles, at least running to some degree. I think the hardware is less a limitation, and more potentially Nintendo's resistance at having Stripclubs on their game system, because they have certainly become more lenient in terms of not having just child-friendly kind of games on their platform. There's a lot more darker games. There's the Bloodborne clone kind of game that's coming out for us, but I wonder if a GTA game is maybe pushing it a little bit too far. But I'm sure
maybe the Switch 3, Red Dead 2 came to Switch eventually, right? Or Red Dead 1 did at least, eventually. But not at launch.
But it's not, chicks twerking on strip poles and stuff.
Jiggle physics. Yeah, take as long as you need, Rockstar. Seriously.
The grinning right now.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah. The trailer and everyone just clicking to Lucia.
The most viewed part.
That's nuts, dude.
But it wasn't just the physics. It was the recoil. As well.
There was a scene where I think they went a little bit too far with it, which was the chick in the ammunition trailer. Her ass jiggles the entire thing, and she only moved once. It was
you've got the jiggle, then you got the little the recoil jiggle at the end. It's crazy, man. Who do you think the guy animating that or the girl animating that must be just having a great time?
Yeah, just to be clear, it's not just that kind of jiggling. You look at Cal and he jumps and his gut just goes do 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 do. Actually as a
you were paying attention to that, were you?
I was looking at every detail of this trailer. Okay. Every pixel I have ingrained into my brain.
All right. It's just, okay. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Yeah, the cowl.
Absolutely. Yeah. So not a surprise that Rockstar is caring most about Sony. At least it's going to be on both consoles. It doesn't look like it's going to be delayed for the Xbox, so people can play on the consoles that they prefer, which will both be on PlayStation, I imagine. Because it's a more powerful console. And
and I don't think there's an Xbox Pro yet, so.
They have said they will want to release one. If the Xbox Pro,
late.
I've heard that. Yeah, there's rumored. Have they said no? They think have confirmed that, right?
I don't know. I'm just thinking it's getting late in the console generation.
That's true.
It's anyway.
So one thing in the trailer, of course, that neither of us mentioned that was really cool to see after all these years was the reflections from the mirrors finally working. They didn't get that working for the expanded enhanced version of GTA 5. Yeah. We spent the entire time in GTA 5, its entire life cycle, with mirrors that did not work at all.
That is crazy to me that they couldn't get it working, even on that PC enhanced edition.
No.
The lighting looks great, though, but they couldn't get the mirrors.
I don't think they tried. I don't think they bothered. They surely could have gotten them working if they really wanted to. But I think there were games around the time of GTA 5 that had some forms of reflections in mirrors, right? Surely. On some level, I think a lot of what we've seen in these trailers is Rockstar saying, hey, we heard this criticism, here's us fixing that. We heard this criticism, here's us fixing that. Because everything that I can think of, well, most things that you could show in a trailer that people have criticized GTA 5 for have been answered to some degree in the content we've received thus far.
Oh, pretty much everything.
The one thing I can think of that isn't in the trailers is the idea of that we get more options. You remember the video that we talk about all the time from the guy, the video that talked about Nakey Jakey. There you go. Thank you. How him saying that there's not enough freedom of choice, that you can't build your own adventure kind of thing in the game. We can't see if Rockstar has taken that criticism to heart and changed their mission design. But how could you show that in a trailer, really? So that's the one thing I'm waiting for maybe some additional marketing to show, or we have to wait for the game itself, perhaps. But you were saying about the reflections?
Not just did they get the mirrors and the reflections working, but in the scene where Jason sort of jumps onto the car when Lucia's driving it, you can see Lucia look in the rearview mirror. So the NPCs are going to actually look in the mirror. And when she looks in the mirror, you can see the reflection of the light from the mirror slightly light up a bit of her face. That is unreal.
Yeah, the reflections upon reflections upon reflections. You can pixel peep every part of the trailer and just be blown away at how amazing it is, and the wizardry again that they're doing this all on a base PS5. It's wild.
Yeah.
But of course, we are kind of, as you can see, we've been yapping for 45 minutes about GTA 6 without stressing. We're in a new generation, a new era of GTA 6 where we actually have official information. How will this impact the community now that we have actual information rather than just fan theories? The biggest difference is everyone seems happier.
Yes, everyone's happier now. The community took a massive deep breath, a nice big sigh of relief. But the theories won't stop. You know that, right? But the theories are just going to change. They're not going to change. They're not going to be about, necessarily when are we getting trailer 3? When are we getting more stuff? Now, thankfully, the theories can switch to the game itself.
And being more based in reality.
Is Jason a cop?
Yeah.
For example, right? Like, is this going to happen in the story? Is this location going to be in the game? We're actually speculating about the game now, as opposed to when we're going to hear more about the game, which is very refreshing and more fun.
I suspect as we, the longer we go without additional material, though, the theories will again start to get a bit more wild. But because we're only a year roughly from release or whatever, there's not enough time for the theories to go as insane as they were getting.
We were at a point where people were counting the amount of birds in trailer 1, counting the amount of holes in the door in Lucia's prison cell. It got unhealthy for sure. It was unhealthy.
Yeah, and thank you, Rockstar, for getting us out of that.
Thank you. We got a screenshot for every week we had to wait. You know that, right?
Oh, really?
70 screenshots. We got a screenshot for every week we had to wait between trailer 1 and trailer 2.
Sick. I wonder if that was intentional. I mean, what are the odds of it just being coincidental, I suppose? But
no.
Millions to one.
Millions to one.
Yeah. Do you think there is more to come? Are we getting more before you really?
Yeah.
When?
I think a safe bet is probably December.
Why? For Christmas or earnings calls or duration from the game actually releasing?
It's about the right time. If we look historically at when Rockstar has released a third trailer, that'll be 5 months before release? 6 months?
I mean, well, the marketing of GTA 6 has been fairly unorthodox up to this point, right?
Yes.
The 500 day. So, I mean, well, if you're going to go off something, you still want to go off precedent from the past.
Well, actually, that's an interesting thing you bring up, because historically, I kind of think you were right about Rockstar maybe knowing about this delay for a while now, because just like usual, if you think about it, we got trailer 2 at the exact same time we've always got it with Rockstar, about 1 year before release.
Oh yeah. That's
when you think about it, that is the right time to release trailer 2. We just all thought it was coming out in 2025. Rockstar always releases trailer 2 about 1 year before release. And they did it again.
While it was weird the time that they dropped the announcement for the delay, they had to have known about it Well, how much do you think that this material was prepared because of the delay? Do you think like they knew like a month ago that they're going to have to delay it? So they're like, look, guys, we're going to whip up some marketing material as an apology for this delay we're about to announce. Or was this the marketing material that they already had that they were going to release 6 months ago? But they were like, oh, well, the game's going to get delayed, so we better hold off on this marketing material.
I don't think they were going to release this last year.
So you think this is...
It seems like too much.
I mean, because how fast could you whip up this kind of stuff? This is a lot. Like it
would take a long time to build this website.
2 months. I don't think this stuff was made because of the delay. I think this was stuff they were just building to that they were going to release at some point, and because of the delay that may have shifted around their plans. What was the date? It was like April. It was April 17th. It said this stuff had gotten uploaded to the website or something. Like it wasn't like the day we got it. It was like a couple of weeks before. Or something.
Yeah, the earliest date that we know that they were preparing to upload this was around mid-April.
Yeah. So clearly this was uploaded before the delay was announced.
Yes.
Well, I guess we'll never know, I suppose. But I think with the amount of material that we've got from this, we could go all the way to release and be fine. Yeah. But I don't think they would want to do that. I think they would still want to give us a little bit more.
Well, we still have so many more trailers to get. We do. Like, people are going to think I'm crazy for this, but I really believe this is the truth. If we're just looking at what Rockstar has done historically, we have about like 3 or 4 more trailers to watch before the game comes out. Are
you including online in that, or?
Yeah. Well, we've got trailer 3 that's probably going to come out. We then possibly have a Jason and Lucia trailer if they do with what they did with GTA 5, where they had the Michael Franklin Trevor trailers. We know we've got the gameplay reveal trailer. That's definitely going to happen. They will need to show gameplay before the game comes out. We'll have a launch trailer that'll come out at like a day or 2 before release.
I want to say though, the trailer too, because I had to look it up to make sure. Like the Michael trailer, the Trevor trailer, and the Franklin trailer, they're like a minute, right? A minute 20, and this trailer is like 3 minutes. This is like more material than we traditionally got in a GTA 5 trailer. Like, was any trailer for GTA 5 close to the length of this trailer? Surely, maybe.
I don't think so. Well, the Michael Franklin Trevor trailer, if you combine them all, isn't it like
is it 350 or whatever? And there's 3 characters. Yeah. It could be possible we get less trailers, but they're longer or something. But
I don't know what makes you think we would get less trailers. Rockstar's always sort of done at least 3 trailers. And then they've done like gameplay trailers as well.
Yeah, I think they're going to give us more. I don't know when, and I don't think it's anytime soon. But
I think December's a safe bet. Yeah, right? Like that's about 5-6 months before release. That will be. I think that would be the point where they kick off the marketing. I don't think it's necessarily kicked off yet. I think whenever we get trailer 3, pre-orders would probably open, and then we'd get the last stretch. Shortly after that, we'd get the gameplay reveal. We'd get the GTA Online update telling us what's happening. Yeah, that seems right to me.
Yeah, I think this is, well, I guess we'll find out in the future how accurate these predictions are. But yeah, I think we're going to get some more. I just mean...
But it's not like we're dying for it now. No. This is just us speculating. I'm not out here
we're not sitting here like, Rockstar, okay, you've given us, first breakfast. Where's second breakfast, all right?
I mean, seriously, hurry up. Run it. It's dry out here, man. Where's the content? No, not anymore. We're good.
So, of course, we're still somewhat discussing the trailer, but I mean, even more than that, what are like obvious references that you saw in the trailer? Like, I actually didn't catch the reference they did at the very beginning where Jason's like, I'm just fixing some leaks. And people are like, oh, that's probably a reference to that they're releasing this material to somewhat chuck under the bus all the early leaks and everyone's speculation that the game was shit and stuff. I'm like, I don't think that was
why that statement is so true, though? Because they showed off all of the places that were in the leaks as well in this trailer. It's not just like throwing out there that the leaks happened, haha. They showed us Port Gellhorn for the first time. They showed us Ambrosia for the first time. They showed us the Everglades or the Grass Rivers for the first time. Like, they actually showed us the locations that were in the leaks.
I didn't make that connection, but that is so cool. Like, Rockstar is so classy. It's so cool. Like, the people at Rockstar Games are just amazing, right? It's yeah.
I can just imagine the round table where they're all sitting down discussing like how they're gonna
fuck these guys, or fuck the guy who leaked this stuff and other leaks and stuff. Yeah.
Do you think he'll get a parody in GTA 6?
The leaker?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a good chance, right?
On some level, in a way, would they really want to immortalize him in that way and give him that? Like, I mean, the people who do this kind of hacking and stuff, they just want attention and stuff. I have said before, if Rockstar made a character specifically in GTA 6 to mock me, I'd be like, this is the greatest thing to ever happen ever. Like, they could portray me in any way that they wanted, maybe except out like some fetish.
But what if he got mauled to death by a cougar?
That would be amazing. I'd be like, yes, son, kill me over and over again. But yeah, so like I don't know, but like they could mock it in some way, but maybe not specifically with him in the game or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
But any other references? Because a big reference that people are talking about, and I'm talking about as well, is the possibility of Michael's boat. Because there is the opening scene where you can see a boat off to the side in Jason's house. There is in his house itself. If you look closely or just turn it on the side, you can see that's a picture of what seems to be Michael's boat. One of the images of the it's one of the darker images of one of the areas. You can see like at a wharf, there's like a very pixelated boat, and it kind of looks like it might be Michael's boat. And I'm
going to choose to believe that that's canon because Ned Luke acknowledged my tweet about it and said, "I'm coming, Jason, to get my boat back."
It's funny as a bit of a meme, and because the reason I'm most interested in it is because in the previous podcast and other material that I've made on my main channel is I said one of the things that I think would make the most sense to be in GTA 6 would be Michael's boat because it was an unanswered question in GTA 5. Yeah. It's not that important to like overshadow the game, and the focus on all the water and stuff and the islands and whatever of the Keys and Miami, it makes sense for there to be a boat. And so it could just be a boat and people go, oh, that's Michael's boat. And there could be some guy who makes some vague reference like, oh yeah, I bought it off some guy who stole it off some rich dude's son.
Well, it's probably Brian's boat, right?
Oh yeah,
so Brian's letting Jason live there. So, and Brian, like, from what we know about Brian already, he's been doing like drug running in the Keys for so long. Like, good chance he stole the boat. He could have been the one that organized it, maybe. I don't know.
He could even have worked with Michael and Trevor to some degree when they were running drugs on the border or whatever. Who knows?
Especially Trevor, yeah.
With that being said, the boat doesn't look exactly the same color-wise, but you can paint a boat, you know? And the picture
and it would have got washed out in like Leonardo with the sun, right? You can assume it got a bit lighter.
True. And then the picture looks more like Michael's boat. Maybe it's just because we can't see the color as well. And of course we can see the full boat. I think it's more likely than not that it's going to be Michael's boat, but we'll have to wait and see.
It would be really disappointing if it wasn't. Yeah. Because it's just the perfect opportunity for them to do what they did with Nico in GTA 5, right? Where Lester said there was this Eastern European guy making moves in Liberty City, but he went quiet. This is the perfect opportunity for them to say, stole it off some rich dude's son in Los Santos. Yeah. You know, just a cool little throwaway line.
Was there any other references that like really jumped out at you, but potentially GTA 5 or to something else? Or
I mean, look, the main one's Lucia, which we kind of already spoke about, being from Liberty City. Yeah. What connections does she possibly have to any GTA 4 characters? We don't know, but there's a decent chance that Rockstar uses it as an opportunity to bring back the GTA 4 character or reference some characters that we already know of in GTA 4.
Possibly. The only other references I can think of to previous Rockstar games that I vaguely saw on Twitter was the money has the presidents from Red Dead 2 or some such. And I was like, oh, well, that's cool. I mean, that's just a given. Like even in the Yellow Jack Inn in GTA 5, there's money on the walls that references San Andreas or pictures from San Andreas, whatever. So yeah, there's going to be so many of those things. It's just
this is
how much is in the trailers.
It's kind of the first time that, depending on how you want to view it, do you think the money is canon? Like, if the money is canon, then this is the first time it's been confirmed that Red Dead and GTA are in the same universe.
Yeah, I guess I've never really thought about it. I don't know enough about Red Dead 2, but yeah, that could entirely be possible. I wonder if that will be confirmed in a more significant way.
Yeah, well, especially because in Red Dead 2, like they reference New York, for example. They don't reference Liberty City. They say New York, right? So, but who knows? Maybe Rockstar could retcon that, and or maybe this is just a Easter egg, and we're reading into it too much, right? But yeah.
Another interesting thing, of course, that we saw in the trailer was the insane amount of minigames, like or the potential
which again,
activities.
Confirms all of the stuff we got in the leaks in 2022. I mean, they pretty much confirmed every mini game that was leaked in 2022. So Jason on the roof just fixing some leaks.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I speculated that, hoped for and speculated that Rockstar would do for GTA 6 is bring back effectively every kind of activity that at least made sense for GTA 6 from the previous GTA games. Like I can remember playing like Watch Dogs, came out around the time of GTA 5, and the insane amount of just like chess games and poker games and blackjack and every activity under the sun in that game was pretty cool. And of course, Rockstar has had different mini games seemingly for every game. Like you could do weightlifting in San Andreas. You can do like pool and in GTA 4, but you can't do it.
Fighting in GTA 4 as well.
Yeah, there were many different examples of this. There was additional activities that were meant to come to GTA 5. Like there was meant to be air hockey, there was meant to be pool, there was meant to be basketball, which is why there's like 78 fucking basketball courts in the game. And you can find that in the game file still. It just seems as though because they've had more time, they would bring as much of this back as possible to the degree that at least wouldn't clutter the game. Like you don't want to have like effectively 150 different shitty mini games, but it did seem as though that given more time that they would put more of this stuff in the game. And the list so far, at least as far as the trailer is concerned, is mini golf, pool, hunting, fishing, diving, dirt biking, kayaking, strip clubs, boxing, weightlifting, dancing, and basketball. And I'm sure they're all going to be good games in their own right.
Yeah, definitely. I think actually what's going to add a lot of life to the game in the long run is fishing and hunting, depending on how in-depth those systems are, because those are things that people really flock to and love to be completionists for. Like people love Red Dead 2's hunting to this day. Like some people just go on Red Dead and fish or hunt. Even now. I
mean, people buy dedicated games for those things, and it remains to be seen how in-depth Rockstar wants to be in it. Like, it could be a game within a game, effectively. Like, you're getting multiple games for the price of one, where you have a whole fishing game in GTA 6. Wouldn't put it past Rockstar, really.
No, I mean, at this point, right? Like, you wouldn't. I think there is a lot that Rockstar is still hiding from us. I really do. Like, if we think back to Trailer 1, we didn't know about all these other cities. We only just learned about them. You know, what are they hiding from us in Trailer 2 that could be revealed in the future as well? Probably a lot.
I mean, it's interesting that you said that they're ultimately, this addresses the leaks. That the leaks have, in a way, guided what they're putting in this trailer. I wonder what they would have given us absent the leaks. Like, I mean, I guess we'll never know, and it's almost pointless to speculate, but because that would have spoken to what they're keeping from us. But it's possible that what we've seen wasn't even what they were originally going to show us. So, well, I guess we'll find out when the game releases, I suppose.
Yeah.
But Jason and Lucia as characters, now that we've seen more of them, and certainly a lot more of Jason, what are your thoughts on them? Do you like them as characters? Is their relationship believable?
The amount of people online, with how long we had to wait, the amount of people that just thought Jason was going to be some either side character or just some boring character, because he kind of looked a bit boring in Trailer 1, you know. This really opens you up to Jason and Lucia, and they both look like they're so in-depth. They're going to have awesome backstories that I want to dive into. And yes, I like looking at this, I think both of these characters could live up to a level of John Marston, Arthur, definitely Michael, Trevor, and Franklin, I think, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
Then the relationship just seems so cute. Like that's the word. Yeah. Like it just seems such a loving, cute relationship. The characters seem so vibrant, actual kind of people, rather than just, you know, caricatures of some Bonnie and Clyde or whatever. Like
you don't really see love stories either. Like especially in games like this. Like you play as a couple,
or we see distorted forms of love or dysfunctional forms of love, like Mike and his family. Not this. That seems to be a fairly healthy. Well, outside of what they do for a living, potentially, but
you know, like robbing, killing.
Yeah, I mean, healthy in terms of the loving between them, not necessarily starting in a place of conflict like we see with Michael and Amanda, for example. It's definitely a different take on things. Has there been a GTA main character that started in a healthy relationship?
Started in a healthy relationship.
Yeah, with a traditional couple. I can't really think.
I mean, has there been a GTA character that's really? I mean, I guess Michael ended up in somewhat of a healthy relationship. Maybe just Michael. Relationships. It's always been a side thing, you know. It hasn't been like a main thing.
Well, the relationship in Red Dead 1 with John and his misses. That was kind of healthy.
Yes,
that was
okay.
healthy.
I was thinking GTA, but
it's a good point. Yeah, I did specify GTA, I think, but I was thinking Rockstar has done this stuff to some degree before,
and it's worked.
And we're likely gonna. We'll hopefully see that work again. And it'd be strange if there was no strife in any way, shape, or form with the relationship throughout the story.
Oh, there will be.
Yeah, of course.
Lucia is holding a gun behind Jason's back in that screenshot on the website. Jason's hugging her with nothing in his hands. Lucia hugging Jason with a gun. And in the first artwork that we got in 2023, sitting on the car, Lucia is sitting behind Jason with her arm over him with a gun.
Oh, yeah, that could be hinting at stuff, I suppose. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
I'd not really thought about
how the dynamic will work.
Yeah, that's interesting. But the side characters as well look very dynamic and interesting. The side characters are Booby, what a name, Brian.
There's actually going to be a character called Tit as well, if you didn't know.
Amazing.
There is.
How do you know that? How do you, like, leaks?
From the leaks, the 22 leaks. There's a character named Booby and there's a character named Tit.
Well, what we know now,
Tit.
Rounding out the 8 named characters, Booby, Brian, Cal, Draquan, Dimes, and Raul. I probably could have said their full names, but I probably would have butchered them. But
Draquan.
Yeah, they all seem interesting, vibrant characters, and it's debatable how they interact and engage with the different characters with Jason and Lucia. With Brian potentially being, the new Lester, Cal being.
I was thinking Brian maybe. I thought Cal was going to be the new Lester. I think Brian could be sort of play the role of someone like a Simeon.
I'd be surprised if Cal played the role of Lester.
Maybe Ron is more accurate.
Yeah, because they're clearly not going to be one-to-one recreations of the characters from GTA 5, but they contain elements of others, because we still need people to bring us missions and stuff, and to be the tech guy, the guy doing all the hacking and stuff, and to be that more gross character, which Cal is clearly going to be. But I don't think it's obvious the roles that each of these characters are going to take, but Raul, to me, is the most ambiguous as to whether, like, is he just going to be...
the highest guy, right?
Well, he's the highest guy, but he seems so stern. Like, he's not going to be amused by a Cal, for example. To me, he looks like a character who could betray Jason and Lucia. Like, starting off as an ally and later becoming an antagonist later in the story.
Absolutely.
Especially because I believe it's said outright that he brought Jason and Lucia into the heist or something like that. Maybe I'm misremembering. But it seems though, especially given his age, he's the one with the experience. He's not being brought on by Jason and Lucia. I think he is the guy doing the heist, and Jason and Lucia have
Raul's recklessness raises the stakes with every score. Sooner or later, his crew will have to double down or pull their chips from the table. So the stakes are seemingly going to get higher and higher with Raul, to a point where something is probably going to go pretty wrong, judging by that last sentence where you're going to have to double down or get out.
What's the next part?
That was the second part. The first part says, confidence, charm, and cunning. Raul's a seasoned bank robber, always on the hunt for talent.
Yeah.
Ready to take the risks that bring the biggest rewards.
Yeah, so I think the hunt for talent, Jason, Lucia, the talents, I think. Yeah. He's going to be their way into the heisting world, which I guess, but that's kind of what Lester was for Michael. Right? Well, at least we didn't get to see much of that, but that's, I believe, the dynamic between Lester and Michael, where Lester brought Michael away from, the drug running to more serious heists, because he was the one who planned it. And so that Raul acts in that kind of role as well.
Doesn't the quote on Raul's character bio here just scream, this is the line he would say when he betrays you? Life is full of surprises, my friend. I think we'd all be wise to remember that.
Yeah, absolutely. Or
that sounds like what he would say when he stabs you in the back.
Or it's a line similar to the lines that Michael said in Prologue, where so many of his lines suggest if he's about to betray Trevor, where Raul saying that line and then later betraying, because it has like a double meaning. Because like Michael, what was Michael's lines?
We get 1,000 things every day. Make sure this is one of them. That's kind of similar to that, actually.
Well, yeah, like Trevor says, like, there's enough here for all of us. And Michael's like, well, it depends on how you look at it. And he's like, don't blow yourself up, Trevor. He doesn't say Trevor. He said, don't blow yourself up. What are the other lines? Like, there's a bunch of lines. Like, if you listen to what Michael says in Prologue, it's all just like, oh. When you see the betrayal happen, it's Michael having a double meaning to everything he says.
So how do you think the story's going to go? See, I think it's going to start off with us as Jason doing stuff for Brian, eventually, and Cal. Eventually, I feel like possibly from what Brian says in the trailer there, they've got your name, address, everything. That could force Jason and Lucia to move out of the Keys and into Vice City, where I think they might meet someone like Raul. And then I think there's going to be sort of this rap music strip club act of the game where you're dealing with Draquan, the Real Dimes, and Booby.
It'll be interesting if they take another approach rather than going back in time or going chronologically. We get like an opening scene that is later in the future, where potentially it's Raul, Jason, and Lucia at a heist going wrong or something, and then it's like kind of like how did we end up here kind of thing, and then it flashes back, and then we see the progression of their lives, who they work with and stuff, and meeting Raul and leading to the heist. I'd be surprised if they go down that road, but I don't know if they've ever done something similar to that. Like, yeah, I don't really know. I have not really.
Isn't it so much more fun to speculate about this
when we have material to speculate on?
This is so much more fun.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I just want it to be good. We all want it to be good.
Yes.
But
it looks like there's going to be it looks like there's going to be a dirty cop as well that we saw in the trailer. The slightly bigger guy that says us cops have to stick together.
Yeah.
And it seems like Jason is in that scene with them as well.
Is it Jason, though? Is it him?
Well, the way I was thinking about it is, like, do we ever get cutscenes in GTA where our character isn't there? That's a cutscene, obviously. One of our characters has to be there. Like, in GTA specifically, we don't get cutscenes where our character isn't there.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I'm trying to think of a single... Yeah, that's a very good point.
So is Jason an undercover cop? I don't know, but is he, like, being forced to work for the cops, kind of like Michael had to, you know?
Yeah. Either that or it's Jason's a mole in the cops. Like he works for some criminal enterprise with Raul. Like, I'd be surprised if this is the direction, but if like Raul is like, hey, get into the cops and find out what they know, or be our inside man. Because there's that. What's that movie with we follow the inside man in the cops and the inside man in the gang or whatever. The Departed. Yeah, because you've seen the movie Departed?
No.
Oh, the dynamic of that is there's two main characters, and one is a mole inside, who's a cop, who's a mole inside the gang, and one is one of the gang members who's a mole inside the police, and so ultimately, you know, Jason could be either one of those characters really, starting out as a cop and becoming a criminal for the cops, or starting out as a criminal. I guess because he was in the army, that's likely, but he could have started out as a criminal and moved into the cops. Now that you've mentioned that we don't get cutscenes unless our character's there, I guess that implies that it is Jason, and it seems more plausible that he's, you know, an undercover cop to some degree, whatever his motivations. Because I have it written down here. We don't really see any obvious, well, we don't get any named antagonists in this. We get people who are suggestive to be antagonists. We have 8 named characters. None are obviously antagonists. While it is fair to say there is a new biker gang to replace the Lost, which we see, rednecks to replace the O'Neills, and various drug gangs to fill their role as enemies and competitors, do you think we have seen any named antagonists that will later be revealed as named characters? So, for example, we have the 2 gang members with the bling, which the guys we discussed before, who changed very differently in the between the 2 trailers. We have the biker with the woman. He's got that huge beard, and then we have the drug dealer and the guy with the bat. The Trevor-looking guy and the guy who looks like he's from the KKK guy from Breaking Bad who deals in meth, and then there's the guy buying blue drugs. I think he's probably the least likely. And then we have the cougar, not the actual animal, but the older woman, the sugar mama, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then the head of the police. Do you think all of these are named antagonists, or who do you think is most likely?
Look, it seems like the most likely would be that cop.
Yeah, almost 100%.
Again, as you said, there's a chance it could be someone like Raul. And again, like, when you kind of think about Red Dead 2, yes, the Pinkertons were the named antagonist, but the real antagonist was Dutch.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, in the end, so, you know, Jason or Lucia, depending on how the story goes, could be the one that betrays the other and could be the main antagonist. But yeah, I think we've probably got a glimpse at a lot of the smaller villains or antagonists. Yes. Have we seen the big antagonists yet? I don't know.
Yeah.
GTA's never really had one antagonist.
No, I suppose not.
It's like in San Andreas, right? It was Smoke, it was Tenpenny.
Especially given the scope of the game, there's bigger and smaller players that pop up and go down at various different points in the story. Especially when it came to having multiple characters in GTA 5 that just gave the opportunity for each individual character to have their own kind of big baddie that which we kind of all tackled in Ending C, where we actually went to each one of the big baddies and took them down. But honestly, I think of the characters I just listed, I think all of them could be antagonists to some degree. The guy who's just buying the drugs, the blue drugs, probably the least likely. But the drug dealer, the guy with the bat, the biker with the woman, potentially also not. Well, I suppose that the bikers need a leader, and surely there's going to be some bigger named guy who leads the bikers, a Johnny-esque character. Or no, what's the name of the guy who's actually in the Lost of the Damned, who is the main antagonist of that, the traitor dude? Billy, and he's referenced in GTA 5. No way. It is Billy. No way. Billy. All that stuff went down with Billy. So, well, do you think we're going to get some marketing material, like a trailer specifically that focuses on the antagonists? I don't think we got that with the other games. No. So it'd just be something that gets revealed in the game itself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but we've gotten hints of it, and that's kind of Rockstar's way, I suppose.
You want to talk about the ankle monitor?
Yeah.
So, obviously, from the screenshot or the artwork we got in 2023, we know that Lucia has an ankle monitor, and we see her walking out of prison with the ankle monitor on. But in some scenes, it's not.
Once again, so the only thing we had showing her with an ankle monitor was the artwork, right? We didn't see that in trailer 1, I don't think. Yeah.
I don't think we saw her legs in trailer 1, really. No.
Yeah, that's actually probably true. This is it's a lot more explicit. Trailer. We saw a lot of her wearing the ankle bracelet in this second trailer. It's
not in every scene.
No. Yeah, so surely it's going to come off at some point. I mean, it depends on.
These could be scenes that
flashbacks
happened before, right? Like we still don't really know how she went to prison. It's implied that it's protecting her family. It's so hard to tell with the info we got. Like, maybe this could be flashbacks. Maybe this is she's cut it off at some point. Yeah,
I mean, because she could go on the run.
Like you would assume she's not going to go robbing all of these banks with an ankle monitor on.
No,
right? Like that doesn't make sense, really.
No. But it's going to be interesting to see whether this is something that we deal with for a significant portion of the gameplay, or something that we have to like manage our time in some way or stay within a particular area. And if we go out of it, we get a wanted level, or it'd be an interesting thing that I don't think we've seen in a GTA game before. Or it could just be some minor thing that's just dealt with instantly. I guess we won't know until we see the game.
I feel like it's going to have at least a bit of an impact to, like, in the first act or two of the game to keep us where they want us.
I see Bob making a good point. We see her, we see her be a probation worker while they live in the Keys. She's not the probation worker.
She's picking up trash.
Is that what it's called?
I think what Bob meant was she's picking up trash, doing community service.
Exactly. So more than likely it's going to be something that's persistent for at least a little while, because why have those kind of... It's probably going to be will it be Minigames picking up trash?
It so is. Just like Michael mopping the floors in GTA 5.
I just want to know what the next guy in the port is. What is going to be this guy in the port of GTA 6? The boring thing that we have to do going backwards.
Pick up trash for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Have fun speedrunning that.
We'll find a skip. We will. So this was actually quite interesting, because I didn't know this was something that people really cared about, but the second they mentioned it, I was like, yeah, I guess they would. So we saw Lucia with Airpods, or whatever they would be called, fruit pods potentially.
We actually know what they're called. They're in GTA 5. They're called beat-offs.
Okay, I guess that is a Rockstar kind of thing.
Yeah, they're called beat-off earphones.
But certainly what it might be suggesting is that Rockstar has listened to apparently what people have been asking for, which is the ability to listen to music while playing the game in other places, rather than just in your car.
But to temper expectations a bit, they are in GTA Online, and we can't do it in GTA Online. We still need to be in a vehicle to listen to music, or in like an apartment or something.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose there's no reason for them not to add this as an optional feature, just something that you buy. It's not something I've ever really thought of wanting, but I suppose that might be because, in part, that I'm a PC gamer. I can put on Spotify.
But we also can't play the copyrighted music, so...
Oh, that is as well, certainly. But, I mean, the like people on console, I'm sure some people would be grinding the online heist and actually have their physical phone that they're using to play music and then you couldn't hear the game and and listen to your music. And this would be a way of solving that. And we need to put some money down and say, well, maybe not literally, but I'm willing to bet that this is going to be a feature in the game that you will be able to do that at some point.
I'd say it's more likely than not.
Yeah.
A bunch of open world games have this feature already, so.
Yeah, one thing that was interesting to me, I just realized when I was looking at those AirPods, is I don't think they've really satirized the whole Apple versus Samsung thing from real life, have they? Like they satirized Apple, and the kind of cult thing around the dude, and we blow up his head, of course. Well, no, that was kind of...
He's dead, is he?
Yeah, but that was kind of satirizing Facebook, but a kind of a cult of technology kind of thing that was satirizing. But I've seen people say, like, you know, I won't date a person if they don't have an Apple phone. Because of the... Well, I think there's been more integration between Samsung and Apple in the last year or two or whatever. But Apple's walled garden is certainly still a thing, and people prefer when you have the same phone. And some people look down upon Samsung like, oh, you're so poor, which is just nonsense. But it depends on the country which has dominance. But this is a feature of current life, especially depending on the country more or less, that I think should play a part in GTA 6 in some way, right? You reckon?
Did we see multiple phones in the trailer? I feel like we might have seen phones that weren't just iFruit phones.
Yeah, there was a different phone at some point that looked like a Samsung.
Yeah.
Or whatever the Samsung equivalent would be there. It just seems such a perfect place to mock and to satirize, right?
Maybe you'll even get to pick your phone. You can buy an iFruit phone, you can buy a different phone.
And then it changes the dialogue in our interactions with people. And some people trust us more, trust us less, or help us out or mock us or whatever. You just walk around with a Samsung phone and you're using it, and someone's like,
so what you're saying is Lucia won't have sex with Jason if he has a Samsung phone.
We start the game, we pick the wrong phone. The relationship goes to shit immediately. Just like, oh, I can't deal with it, Jason. I'm sorry.
No, it gets to the end of the game. They betray each other, and Lucia says, I'm sorry, Jason. You have a Samsung. It kills him.
Oh, God.
Credits roll.
Yeah. That was the list of topics here, wasn't it? I have a few questions here, but they're questions from previous. Do you have anything we feel like we didn't cover?
For a lot of the conspiracy theorists out there, aliens will be returning. We saw on Cal's shirt that he had little aliens. So Cal is going to be a bit of a conspiracy theorist. I thought that was interesting.
Well, yeah. The thing that he said in the text next to him
there's too many birds flying in perfect formation, implying that the birds are, drones sent by the government.
Which speaks to him being more of a Ron character. But Ron in a way was kind of also Lester, but for Trevor when he was separated from Lester.
That's true.
But Lester was more of a perv, a weirdo, and Ron was more of a conspiracy theorist. So basically similar characters. And that it doesn't say whether aliens are actually going to be real in the game, but I imagine there'll be some Easter egg where you stumble across.
But they're kind of already real. Like we've seen the alien in North Yankton under the ice.
Oh yeah. In the world of GTA, they're real, but whether they'll appear, I'm almost certainly they're going to appear in some way. But
and we have a confirmed big mountain as well with Mount Calago or Mount Calago, however you want to pronounce it. So. Maybe there will be some throwbacks to Mount Chiliad with that as well.
Yes, we'll finally get an answer to the Mount Chiliad mystery. Just a separate... No. From the Mad Lad, do you think they will end GTA 5 with a bang? Big online update, single-player content? Or do you think they just won't mention it and let it fizzle away when GTA 6 comes out?
See, this is going to be very interesting. I think that if they do have a big DLC, it would come out in June or July. It's hard for me to imagine that they have a big DLC planned for December because GTA 6 was supposed to be out by then. So it seems to me if they release a DLC in December, that it would probably be something they've just cobbled together over the past year.
I think they probably have an idea as to what they want the last update to be, but when that's going to drop is probably going to depend on factors they don't know, which is the player numbers, like leading up to GTA 6 and after GTA 6 potentially, if they want to bank on the idea that the game is still going to be popular. At the end of the day, it's going to depend on, does GTA Online 1 still make money, and in a way that doesn't inhibit GTA 6 and GTA 6 Online's potential growth, right? Because presumably GTA 6 Online is going to be more tooled for monetization. People are going to want to spend more money. It's going to be tooled in that way. And so keeping people on the older version, which has less revenue generating potential, even if it's still making money, giving more content to that and keeping people there rather than shifting them to the new monetization model could be bad. So I've often said that it's just going to depend on if GT Online is still making money, but it's also going to depend on how successful GT Online 2 is. You know, it could be a Payday 3 situation where Payday 3 was shit and people stayed on Payday 2. I fucking hope not.
Surely not.
No, surely not. They're way more. They have had way more time and they're clearly more talented. Yeah. But they're not firing shots at those who made Payday. But yeah. So I think there will be a big last update, but I don't know when it's going to be because it's going to depend on other variables. Yeah.
So you think they've got a big DLC that they've been holding out for a while?
Well, I guess big is relative, isn't it? Because why would they spend a lot of dev time making something like that? But no, I just think they have an idea for what they want to do as the final update. I'm not sure what would be required to do it, but I'm sure they're thinking about this. Like, we're talking about this. They're thinking about this, how they want to say goodbye to something that's been their lives to a degree for 12 years, right?
Yeah.
Almost 13 years. They can't hate GT Online. They actually want to celebrate it and what it is at the end.
There's got to be, I don't know about a big DLC, but there's got to be some sort of segue to 6, kind of like what they did when Red Dead 2 came out, right? We had the Vanderland email that we got, and you can go get the, the double action revolver from Red Dead 2. You know, surely we get some sort of...
last hurrah, last money, you get free cars or whatever. There'll be something. There'll be something.
There's got to be some sort of tease to GTA 6 is what I'm thinking.
Which kind of leads into this next one, which is Jan says, what do you believe are the implications of Rockstar releasing the Enhanced Edition half a year before the release of GTA 6? Well, it's not half a year, as it turns out. It's now a year. When did it exactly release?
Maybe they did know this for a while.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Maybe the Enhanced Edition's release gives a suggestion that that they knew even a while ago that the GTA 6 was going to be delayed, so they needed something more to keep people playing online. Yeah, that's actually a good explanation, a kind of good answer to that question, that they knew that people were going to be playing GTA 5 a little bit longer. Maybe a lot longer for PC players, right?
At least 2 more years for PC players.
God damn. That's
2027 at the earliest.
Crazy to think. We haven't directly addressed this on the podcast, have we? How come Peli isn't on this podcast? Do you want to? It's not controversial, I don't think.
It's not. He just thought that podcasting wasn't really for him.
Yeah, he did the one with this the Grove Street podcast on the main channel, and he's just like, yeah, it wasn't really my vibe. And we still talk to him. We've hung out with him. We've seen him around.
We chatted to him a fair bit. Yeah, we saw him.
I saw him down in Melbourne a little while back.
We're friends with him.
Yeah,
podcasting's not for everyone. It's a different type of content, especially for him. Like, this is so different to what he usually does.
Yes. And it's like, just to clear this, no bad blood. He was not forced out or something. It's not like we took a group vote. Me and TJ were like, get out that fucking pelican, man. I know.
After one podcast, we said, that's enough from you. No more thanks, Jeff.
Commendedfish asks, do you think GT Online's writing has gotten worse because they are more focused on GTA 6 or because some of the best writers have left the company? Has GTA 6's writing ever really been that
GTA
good?
Online, yeah.
GTA Online writing ever really good?
Even since the very start of GTA Online, I don't think... I'd be very shocked if the main writers are the ones writing GTA Online content, because all of the dialogue seems directed towards children.
Yeah.
To be honest, and there's never any real stakes. Like, there's never any real consequences. It's all just kind of funny, we're robbing people.
What you're saying is Rockstar is attempting to get children to play a violent video game. Is that your stance here? That they're tooling the game?
Violence is cool. Thanks, video games.
I just
Cal's
mean, like,
shirt from the trailer.
Well, one, I don't think that they're trying to make mind-blowing kind of writing. They just writing to facilitate gameplay, which is kind of what GTA has always been. But when you're making small episodic improvements to like an online ecosystem, whatever, like, I can't remember any MMO that I've ever played where I'm like, man, this writing is the shit. A lot of people don't even pay attention to that stuff because they're just there for the gameplay.
Or they're chatting with their friends in a Discord or a party chat.
Chilling and stuff. I think that there were elements that were interesting. Like, I mean, the Doomsday heist was fairly interesting. I mean, but it's not mind-blowing
but even then, the dialogue's goofy, it's silly. Like, it just never really feels... Like, even though the world is apparently going to end in the Doomsday heists, right? You never really feel like that. Like, there's no stakes.
No.
Like, it's all... Obviously, you're going to fix this. Lol, haha, funny.
I mean,
AI going to take over the world.
I wonder if we condense down all the dialogue in the Doomsday heist, or just at least the cutscenes. It's probably only like 10, 15 minutes or something, right? It's probably not even the length of a normal episode of TV. There's only so much you can do there, especially when you realize that a lot of people aren't even going to be really paying attention to the dialogue as you're driving and whatnot. I've heard that Netflix, for example, recognizes that some people are going to be on their phones watching TV shows and suggests that key details of the story are recapped like half an hour in or something, just for the people who weren't paying attention at the beginning. And I can assume that Rockstar's writing with that kind of mindset, where it's just people aren't going to be paying attention to this anyway. Let's just make it really fucking obvious what you're meant to be doing.
Can I vent on that? Just what you mentioned about Netflix re-emphasizing, like, people are going to be on their phone while watching Netflix. Obviously, I think I speak for the majority here. Bit of a topic switch, but it relates to that. And I need to get this out of my system because it was blowing my mind. Obviously, I think I speak for most of us, right, that we don't want oppressors in GTA 6. Right? Like, I think not everyone's going to agree with that, obviously, but I think I speak for the majority of people. I had a comment tell me that the Oppressor Mark II is required in GTA Online because it makes it easier to get around the map. And I was like, well, if you need to get around the map faster, why not just use a helicopter or a jet? We don't need futuristic vehicles. And what do you think this person replied?
I don't know. Go for it.
That requires multiple inputs to use a helicopter or a jet, and you might crash. With the Oppressor Mark II, I can fly across the map and scroll YouTube shorts while I'm flying.
Holy shit. That can't be that common, surely. I mean, well, that's fucked.
That was a real comment.
That's the most brainrot thing I've ever heard in relation to
what
this
is
game.
happening to us, Matt? Someone used that as a real argument as to why oppressors should be in GTA 6.
Holy shit, dude. Like, I want to ask you, because I actually said this on stream, the hatred for the Oppressor Mark I wasn't that big, right? Because it required some skill. You couldn't just fly to the other side of the map. It didn't make other vehicles redundant and stuff. And it had like tricks and stuff you could do with it. I'm not saying they should open the game with it, but if they do go the flying bike route, I think if they stopped there, I think people would be less pissed, right?
From what I remember, I don't necessarily know that it was the Oppressor Mark I that started to piss people off at that point. Rockstar, like you said, they slowly ramped it up a bit. They started with military vehicles, and a lot of people were upset at the military stuff in the game, saying this isn't GTA, it's not a military game, it's a street-level crime thing. And then eventually they ramped it up to futuristic stuff, and then eventually they ramped it up again to Back to the Future, just unrealistic sci-fi stuff.
And I'll be honest with you, I hate to be doom and gloom, but I think that's going to happen again. They're just going to run out of ideas. They're just going to
But it's such a disservice to the actual game.
Yeah.
It is such a disservice to just skip over the entire map and the possible immersion in the game. Driving through the streets.
Everything has power creep. The idea that the next generation has to be a little bit better than the previous generation so people have a reason to get it or to spend money on the microtransactions. And eventually, you're going to run out of base level, normal crime fighty things or crime doing things from the real world. And you're going to have to go that a little bit unrealistic, a little bit futuristic, and then it's going to keep going and going and going until eventually we're going to be nuking people from the sky again with satellites 10 years from now.
And maybe if GTA 6 was set to come out in like 2020, for example, maybe it never would have got to that point because Rockstar didn't need to power creep that much, right? Like this could be a side effect of the game literally being 12 or 13 years old.
In a way, it's possible that they're adding additional things to customize and build out could stave off that longer, giving more things for people to spend money on. For example, properties, you could actually like model and buy stuff for those houses, similar to what they do in 5M. If they do that, they may never need to get that futuristic. I'm sure
power creep could be like in the types of properties you have,
so
for example, right? Bigger and better.
So it'll still be based in reality, but you're getting like a $20 million actual mansion, and you can buy like better paintings or better couches and more customization, because people go ham on that stuff like in 5M and spend money to actual people in 5M servers for that. I'm sure Rockstar's seen that and wants a piece of it. And so if they go down that route, maybe we will never see that kind of futuristic stuff. But there are people, as weird as it is, and as you just saw, that do like that kind of stuff, and Rockstar will want to keep them around. So it's hard to strike that balance. You can't make everyone happy, but when you make things that fundamentally change the gameplay for other people, even those who don't want to engage with that material themselves, that's when it becomes annoying. Like, if people could do their own futuristic sci-fi stuff somewhere else and not bother the people who just want to have a crime simulator on a realistic kind of thing, that'd be different. And maybe that's going to be possible. Maybe you'll be able to pick your server which restricts the weapons, which restricts the items you can use in that server, which would be interesting, but remains to be seen.
Yeah, you could definitely make an argument that the futuristic stuff did prolong the life of the game, because a lot of people do love it and a lot of people use it to grind, and that has kept them coming back. But at the same time, there are maybe just as many people that say that is the reason they quit the game.
Yeah. I will say, if you need something like an Oppressor Mark II for the game to be playable or enjoyable, like, I think it's just bad game design. Like
exactly.
Things are the map is too big. You're not you're making people go too far out in places or whatever. It's just not good.
Absolutely.
Do you think there's going to be an early access period for GTA 6? I'm going to say no. There's no way. There's not going to be...
No, I feel like Rockstar's going to want to break every record they ever set. So they're going to want those day one sales numbers. Like, they're going to go for the Guinness World Record.
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to go crazy, because if they really wanted to break the records, they could release it on PC as well. But they're not doing that. So, I mean, within reason,
but they beat the record last time without PC.
That's true. And they're trying to break their own record, right?
Yeah. I think they still probably hold the record.
Yeah,
right?
I was about to say, I don't think any other game... It's wild to think over 10 years, no other game came close to GTA.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
This question from SANDI. Do you think buildings would take physical damage if you shoot rockets at them, or will explosions affect the environment in a more realistic way? I had someone ask another question like this. If you look very closely when Lucia is shooting the 3 police vans or trucks or whatever with the grenade launcher, it does potentially look like there might have been some shattering of pavement or something under the vehicles. I would be shocked if there wasn't more destruction than we saw in GTA 5, in a large part because games around that time had destructible trees and destructible stuff, and it seemed as though Rockstar was just restricted by the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox One, and that's why we lost a lot of the flora and fauna or whatever. And it was massively scaled back. And I think the destructibility was also scaled back for that reason. And because the system is just more powerful and they're clearly doing more with it, I cannot imagine that there's going to be things that actually get destroyed.
I don't think it'll be like Battlefield level. I don't think you'll be able to destroy like houses or bridges or whatever. But it'll, in my opinion, I think it'll be GTA 5, but a bit more stuff, right? Like, you'll be able to destroy your fences, your poles, maybe the odd pillar here or there, but I doubt it would be like buildings and stuff.
Yeah, there are like in Michael's house, for example, if you explode in there, you can actually see like parts of the wall fall away and stuff. Like the only time you really ever see that is like on Meltdown or something. But when that happens, some people go, "Wait, that wall just got damaged or whatever." Like I think there will be more of this, but I doubt they're going to go the length of like having it be permanent kind of thing. Like, you can just because it would destroy the story too much if you're just destroying you just nuke half the city and expect the story to continue. It just wouldn't make sense. But
it doesn't work.
But obviously, I personally have criticized the inability for trees to be destroyed, and that trees are the most strong thing in GTA 5. They will fix that.
You think?
No. Yeah.
What happens if you drive into a tree in real life? I've never done it.
Oh, no, I mean like the tiny trees, like the tiny things where it's like
okay.
You like go through a twig and the twig doesn't break off. It just
like the Kayak bushes.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
It's nuts. And the interaction between like cars and bushes as well. Like you can touch a bush and it just like spins you like a Beyblade. It's insane.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like it'd be unrealistic, although potentially fun, for you to be able to hit like a solid 100-year-old tree with your car and just keep going. Like there's going to be potentially destruction, like the actual folding in of your car and stuff. And but it's always that question of balancing realism and enjoyment in the game, because you don't want to touch a tree or a curb and have your tire instantly just get fucked and you not be able to continue to drive. Like in GTA 5, in some missions, they would make it so that regardless of the damage you took to your car, you could still drive at full speed. The example being I Fought the Law, because like it's just a car race. If you clip your car and have to do the entire race again, that'd be pretty shit. I mean, it's
also kind of funny in like the father-son mission, where Michael's car just stops working after getting shot a few times, but doesn't happen anywhere else.
And as well, like you don't really slow down all that much though. And the true impact of that damage only happens after you finish those story elements as well.
Yeah.
Like clearly the way that your car will be able to be damaged and the effect will probably be controlled based on the different scenes. Free mode will be different from different missions, and we know that because just precedent from how Rockstar handles it in the previous games.
I'm just going to go to the bathroom real quick. Entertain chat. One second.
Disagree, more realistic equals more fun. I think you just need to find a right balance between these two things, because it can obviously be the case that more realism makes things less enjoyable. Like you need to eat every couple of hours. You're in the middle of a mission. You're feeling hungry, so your character starts moving slower. Like the map, the screen becomes a bit hazy because you're tired. You need to take a piss all the time. Like it just detracts from the actual enjoying parts of the game. To what degree that kind of realism should exist in the game? It should be entirely optional. Things you can turn on for specific servers or something. Do you think online will be day one? Nah, I think it'll be delayed. We talked about this last episode, I believe, where I think they want everyone to experience the story and then give reason people to come back and keep playing. They don't want people to have to choose between doing the story and doing online, potentially separating friends, allowing, like some friends will get ahead in online and the other people, those friends will be behinds, and creating that disconnect. They want people to enjoy the story and talk about the story together, and then enjoy the start of online together as well. I think the way you equip the AirPods will be the same way you equip the mask in Red Dead Redemption 2. Select it in the clothing wheel to toggle them on and off. Yeah, that's most likely the way to do it. Although, are they going to have the same kind of menu system? The M menu, the interaction menu? Surely something like that, right? Yeah. Looming, thank you for the sub. At the beginning of Cyberpunk, they chose a certain area that is in lockdown to not drop you into a massive world all at once. Ankle monitor could be similar. Yeah, that's true. That is definitely a thing. It'd be a shame if more realistic driving controls harmed the stunting community. For example, core features like being able to move your car in the air will be missed if removed. Yeah, that's another way where more realism means, the forms of gameplay that we've gotten used to in GTA 5 where there isn't an insane amount of realism. Like that would be removed to some degree. Yeah, but it's also possible that these things are going to be able to be tweaked in creator content. We just have our very realistic servers for GTA 6. We'll see. Do you think the GTA 5 GTA Online story will be considered canon to GTA 6? And I do think that is the case.
GTA 5 will be. GTA Online? That's an interesting question.
Yeah, I think it will. Like, why would they bother contradicting GTA Online, right? Surely, certainly GTA Online has impacted GTA 5, but what could possibly be in GTA Online that they'd bother going out of their way to contradict it? Because so little of it will be of relevance to GTA 6.
Yeah, well, I mean, as for story beats in GTA Online, sure. I don't think...
I mean, so little that happened in GTA Online actually mattered story-wise. Like, it barely had a story.
Yeah, that's a good point. But as for Psychopath going around Los Santos blowing up 1 million people with an Oppressor Mark II, I don't think that's canon.
I don't think that'll be referenced at all. No, they won't reference our online characters. They won't be like, yeah, that Los Santos place is kind of crazy. They had like millions of people just blowing up the entire city every week, and it kept like just getting rebuilt, and I have no idea what's going on. Yeah. Will GTA 6 have more actual collaborations, or will they have more vague references to things as they have in the past? Because they obviously parody and don't have explicit brands in GTA 5 and previous games and stuff, but they do have Dr. Dre and stuff in there, right?
Yeah, I feel like the monetization opportunities would just be so insane. Like if they did more real collaborations. If you look at Fortnite, for example, the amount of money they print with all of these real world collabs, whether it's people or even items, Like you can buy Jordans, you can buy shoes in Fortnite now.
Certainly, that's easier to sell to brands in Fortnite though, when they don't have a strip club and twerking and obvious real murder and stuff. But you're right. There will be people, companies, people, whatever, who see past that and they just see the dollars and they just see the hundreds of millions of people who play the game. There have been attempts in the past to have like real changing advertisements in the game. I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but I know that's happened in games in the past. And I'd be surprised if Rockstar went down that route, in part because the advertisements are like a part of the world, the story that they tell. Like the stuff we drive by, it's all parody of the real world. If it suddenly became real advertisements for Coke, I think people would be really pissed. And Rockstar probably wouldn't want to destroy their vision of the world in that way. But if they started doing real brands, I think that would kind of do the same thing, right?
Really? Yeah, brands maybe not, but I feel like we would definitely get a lot more, at least music-related collabs, like we did with Dr. Dre. I mean, they are called Rockstar games.
Exactly.
Right? Music is a core part of the brand. Dr. Dre, we already know the music scene is going to be a big part of the story in GTA 6, right? With Booby and the Real Dimes and Draquan. So, yeah, a good chance, especially in online, we get celebrity collabs. Maybe not products, but celebrity collabs. I think there is a good chance.
That would be interesting if, like, as just a common marketing tool, it's just whenever anyone's dropping an album, it gets dropped, like, on Spotify and in GTA 6. And there's just, like, a section of the opening screen that's just like the newest music dropping
in game.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, you could like some actual the venues in the game actually get events in the same way that kind of Fortnite does. Yeah, there's a lot of potential for things they could do that wouldn't necessarily destroy the artistic vision of the world. Yeah, so I think there will be more. From FriedTail, would there be a possibility to play with PC players and Xbox PlayStation players together in GTA 6 Online? You're shaking your head, adamantly no, never?
Probably never. I've said there's a good chance that Xbox and PlayStation will be able to play together, but with how modding works in GTA, I would say we can probably safely say it will never happen, console and PC.
It's hard to imagine how secure things would have to be for that to be possible. And even if that level of security was possible, implementing that would probably be so restrictive to the player base that it would make the game less enjoyable to play. I think the separation is just the safest thing. Although it probably would that add to the complexity of the game in some way, or I don't know enough about development, whether it would be easier to make one thing that I don't know. But yeah, so I don't think it's likely either. I think it would just cause too many complications, and in large part, it's just the security in the way that you can mod on PC.
With that said, though, apparently the enhanced PC version is a lot more secure, and there are pretty much no hackers or modders.
Really?
From what I've heard, that's what Gilly Master says.
Oh, sick. Well.
Maybe. Have you played much online on the enhanced? I haven't.
I have, but I still restrict myself with Guardian and stuff. I don't do the public stuff. Well, there was a time when I tried to a month ago, I think, and my game kept crashing. I didn't know if that was something I was doing or if because there are some exploits that have been in the past where the security kicks in and removes a person from your private session or whatever, but they get in just long enough that they can like just spam kick and kick you out. So like a level of disruption that wouldn't affect most people because no one's going to go to the effort to do that just to a random stranger. But for a content creator, they would. Whether that was coincidental or what, I'd care more about Gilly's opinion on this than my own because he does a lot more online public lobby stuff than I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that a ray of hope from TG. For those who want that to happen.
No, don't get your hopes up. Especially like since GTA on PC is probably going to take a year and a half at least, right? Like,
because they'll be so far ahead on console compared to PC. So you'd be denying PC that experience of a new world where everyone's level 0. Because that was like the best time. So I hear for GTA Online back in 2013.
Oh yeah, you're gonna love it. I think you will become a GTA 6 Online fan. Genuinely, like there's a lot of us that play GTA Online now. We love it because of what it used to be. I don't know what it's like just getting into the game today. It must be very different, but a lot of us play it because we love how the game used to be, and we have memories from back in the day. Like, those were really great times. Even though the game wasn't fantastic, it's a really special experience, and I'm really excited for everyone to experience it with 6.
So, like, I can tell you this right now. I spent, like, 8 years farming achievements in World of Warcraft, often entirely solo, just listening to, like, podcasts or watching TV shows or whatever. I just have it on there, just grinding some mobs. As long as I have a goal to complete, I am a fucking happy as Larry. I just give me a goal and it's just collect all the awards. I'm like, you got it, boss. I'll do it for the next 15 years. Don't worry about it.
Dance for 5 hours in the nightclub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was way more than that. It was like probably 10 hours something. But the for the dancing award, for those who don't know, who haven't seen all awards, my series, but the GTA 6 online is gonna be designs with that kind of just continuously giving you something more to do, and I'm gonna follow that breadcrumb trail that Rockstar's going to lead, and I'm just going to keep playing, and I'll be happy as Larry.
Did you hear what Tom Henderson said? So, a big leaker, he has a lot of inside info, he works for Insider Gaming. Now, he was the person that leaked Jason and Lucia 5 years ago. So, he knows stuff. He knows stuff. Came out in 2020 with this big article and YouTube video talking about GTA 6. Basically, he said there was going to be a white guy and a Latina female character.
I vaguely remember this, yeah.
Anyway, big article. So he knows, obviously, people at Rockstar. He's got inside sources. He said a week ago that in about 2 weeks, he's going to write an article about what he knows about GTA 6 Online.
Well, I'm excited. In a way, I less mind that stuff being spoiled, especially because it tells you the dynamics of what the game's going to be about as opposed to specific story elements or what have you. Yeah, it's going to be cool. It's hopefully will give us something to talk about in the next episode of the 6 Star Podcast.
And he also said he was very confident that, like a week ago, he said that we would get trailer 2 before the investor call. The make of that what you will. Yeah, he was right. Yeah.
This next question from CRYPTIC. Will our characters speak in GTA 6 Online?
I really hope they do, but I'm 50-50 on it. It's a complete guess, but I hope they do. I feel like voiced protagonists are just way easier to relate to. I don't like this idea that we're a mute.
Yeah.
It breaks the immersion. It does. Like,
so there are some people who feel more immersed when they can put themselves in the character on the screen. And if there's a different voice coming out, apparently that throws them off. Some people like protagonists that don't speak. But I just don't know how you don't get pulled out of the game when your characters are like, the character on the phone is like, I assume you've picked up the item. Very good. It's like, it's just dumb. I just have a conversation with my character and say...
Have you never played like a single-player game in your life? Like, every single-player protagonist has a voice, and you relate to that character, and you enjoy playing as that character, right?
There are voiceless characters in single-player games. Jack, help me out here, because I don't play that many, but I know Half-Life. Half-Life, he has no voice. You never see him. So Saints Row, Saints Row we have as the occasional thing. Skyrim, yeah. Dead Space 1. There's a bunch of things coming out that some of the best games is Zelda. Link just makes noises and stuff. The Mario games. There's so many, but I just hate the way that the dialogue works in GTA Online and just the constant like the characters need to have telepathy. They act as though they just know what's going on in the world, and you can just never have a conversation. And you're always just there watching other people, other characters engage with each other rather than engaging with them yourself.
You're just a fly on the wall.
You're just a fly on the wall, watching the story happen in a way. It annoys
me. If people say it breaks their immersion when your character speaks, I find that so hard to believe that breaks your immersion more than your character just never speaking.
I don't want to be in a story. I want to see interesting stories and experience interesting characters. I don't want to live in the world of GTA Online. But some people do, because like in 5M, how big is role-playing and stuff? People want to be in these worlds. I don't. I just want cool stories, cool gameplay. And I think a lot of the stuff that made the GTA Online writing bad was that you didn't have a speaking character. And then they had to kind of talk around your character, and that just sucked. Will it happen though? There are pros and cons, as we've just seen. Different people want different things. I guess we'll find out, I suppose. They can't make everyone happy on this issue, you know?
No.
They can't do it both ways. Do you think that GTA 6 will have seasons?
How cool would that be? I'm surprised that's in here. I was just thinking about this over the past week. We saw it with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Like, what if in GTA Online, right, every weekly update brings a new season?
Yeah.
So it rotates weekly. It's summer, it's spring, it's winter, there's snow. I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't do snow in Florida every month, but, you know.
Does it snow in Florida? I actually don't know.
No, but it doesn't snow in Los Angeles, and they do the...
Yeah, that's true.
They do the snow, like, once a year, but...
And that's the only change in the weather, or the season that happens in online, right? Just the snow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What an amazing way to make the world feel fresh without, like,
radically
having to add
things.
New content every week.
Yeah. And it's also something that you could constantly rotate over the years, and like, because it wouldn't stick around long enough for you to get sick of it. It'd actually be interesting if it like mirrored a year cycle of the real world seasons for Miami. But I think they'd probably prefer to have more control over than that, right?
Maybe. If that was the case and they did make it snow in winter, having snow for 3 months and not being able to drive would not be fun.
Yeah, that's a good point. So just specific.
But maybe make it winter without snow. That'd be cool, I guess.
Or it's winter and then it snows a little bit and the snow goes away or whatever. Like it's not heavy snowfall. It's a bit of snow for a while and it just fades and still is winter and cold. But
But even then, right? Like I don't think the seasons are that different in Florida. Like compared to, let's say, Assassin's Creed Shadows, where Japan, like all of the seasons are drastically different.
I will say, though, that this would probably have to be something just in the online world. It wouldn't make sense for the story because, like, characters would still be wearing, like, bikinis and stuff, and it would be snowing. Like, they couldn't have all the characters modeled and the dialogue changed for each possible season that you might play the game. It would just be something that happens in the online world.
From what we saw in trailer 2, it doesn't seem like there's seasons, right?
Nothing that I can think of is suggestive of that, but it's not like we saw an insane amount of stuff. But as we say that it would just be single player as opposed to online. I think it's entirely plausible that they will have seasons in online. Will come at some point, but not the single player. No. Do you think GTA 6 will have AI? So NPCs will respond more naturally to what happens in the game? I do not.
Everything AI voices? God, no.
Everything that's
we're not going to they aren't sources necessarily, but Matt and I do know someone that is voicing an NPC. They've got real people to voice the NPCs.
Oh yeah, I thought you were making a joke about me for a second there, but actually no. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. But I was also thinking of Strauss Zelnick, who has been asked about AI many times, and his statements are always on the line of like AI is just a tool, which it is, that's going to help the creative people at Rockstar be more creative. It's not going to be defining the dialogue or something. I guess if AI became both better and more accepted, maybe you could see that in some online later, but not this game, not single player. And I would be surprised if it ever came to online. Rockstar, it's entirely possible that AI might inform. Like you could, in the same way that I could use AI to give me suggestions, like just word salad for titles, and then I make my own title. Rockstar, writers in general are probably already being like, what's another word for X? Is there any problems with what I'm writing here? Is there any inconsistencies in my writing? That in the same, because that's along the lines of what Strauss talks about. It's a tool to help creative people be more creative as opposed to something that defines the game. And that's how I think it's going to stay, at least for the time being. Is it possible that Jason is based after Paul Walker's character in the Fast and the Furious movie series, where he is an undercover cop but later switches sides to the criminal world for Lucia? I can't recall too much about the Fast and the Furious, but what you've described there is probably the most plausible story I can think of Jason starting off as an undercover cop, and maybe Lucia knows something about someone that matters. I think it cheapens the relationship, because the relationship seems so wholesome and so real, and for Jason to have that secret feels kind of sus. But I think that's the most likely way that they could implement an undercover cop story into what we've seen so far. You disagree?
But we have footage in the trailer of Jason doing a lot of illegal activities near the start of the game. An undercover cop wouldn't do that.
Well, no, undercover cops do illegal stuff all the fucking time. What do you mean? It's a part of the...
They go and they go and repo money from... Yeah. They beat up store clerks. Well, they smuggle drugs.
I'm no expert in the police, but I from my understanding is that as a part of the job to make it seem as though you're a legit guy, you will sometimes have to do some crimes. You will be involved in the criminal activity as a part of your undercover stuff to get a credibility so that you can move up in the ranks and get the information that is necessary. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I'm pretty sure my understanding of this is based on movies, obviously. So it's not based on the real world. That is what they do in movies. That could be dependent upon the country. I don't know how American laws works, but like, how are you going to integrate yourself into a criminal organization and not do any crimes? Just be like, hey, guys, I'm feeling sick today. When you guys do want to smuggle those drugs. Like, you know, and especially because it is a game allowing more flexibility in terms of what's realistic. We can't just judge it based on the real world.
What do you think of the actual, like, blurb of the story? People have kind of skipped over this, like, with the story on the website here. It says, when an easy score goes wrong, they find themselves on the darkest side of the sunniest place in America, in the middle of a criminal conspiracy stretching across the state of Leonida.
Yeah.
People haven't mentioned that sentence. Like, they're in the middle of a criminal conspiracy? What's that mean?
Yeah, and that blurb feels incompatible with this kind of story, being an undercover cop. Unless, of course, it's like it goes wrong. And then as a part of the deal to lessen the sentence for Jason or something, he kind of goes the way that Trevor thought that Michael would have gone, where Trevor was under the impression at the beginning of the game that Michael, you know, he actually got shot by Dave and he woke up on an operating table and Dave's like, look, you sell out people, you give us information, you work for us, or you're going to jail. And Michael made a deal, right? And so it's possible that Jason and Lucia get caught and they give Jason a deal and he works for them in some way. And so they would be embroiled in a criminal conspiracy, in part because of their need to pay off the cops in a way because of the crimes that they've done. I say it's just hard to. They could go in so many different directions, but
Legacy Killer leaked 6 months ago that one of the main plot points is going to be a corrupt cop, right? Like, maybe what if the corrupt cops are forcing Jason and Lucia to do this stuff for them?
Well, that would be kind of the same thing that happened in GTA 5. I mean,
yeah, I know.
Yeah, but you know, who knows? I suppose. We'll
see. It kind of seems like it.
Yeah. It's a lot of we don't have enough information. Probably more will come clear. Do you think in GTA 6 the driving will be more realistic? Because we know it's not exactly perfect now. I feel like it's possible because they do kind of change the driving style with every game. This is from King Bills. I do think it will change in the same way it changed from GTA 4 to GTA 5 to be more arcadey. Like, some people prefer GTA 4. Like, it's one of those things where...
do you really want that, though?
To be like GTA 4? No.
Do you really want the driving to be more realistic?
No. But some people do prefer that, right? And it could be something that is customizable. I mean, it is. Or at least 5M, like, people tinker with that stuff. But I think... it will feel different, maybe a little bit more weighty, because obviously what happens right now is you can clip something and fly into the stratosphere effectively in GTA 5 with the driving. But I don't think they're going to make it a lot more complex. Like, we're not going to be manually changing gear and stuff. It's just...
Well, like someone said earlier, do you really want to, for example, remove the ability to flip your car over?
Yeah,
like, that's not fun.
Using my mind to flip over the car, to keep my car, and to control myself in the air and stuff. That stuff...
Yeah.
Yeah, I want that stuff. So that's why I do think it will change to be less arcadey and it'll be a little more weighty, but we'll still be able to do things like that are just conveniences, right? If Lucia is from Liberty City, perhaps she is the daughter of Catalina.
He has a different last name.
Well, I guess Catalina could have gotten married.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense, actually, yeah.
And they're the same ethnicity, right? I don't know enough about Catalina. They're both Latinas, right? Catalina gets capped, though, does she? Yeah, I don't know enough about the earlier GTAs. Catalina is from Colombia. Well, guess we'll see. I got no comments on that because I don't know enough about the earlier GTAs.
I would be surprised if Lucia wasn't, not necessarily like blood related, but like if her past didn't cross paths with someone in Liberty City that we've seen before.
Yeah, that would add some interesting flavor to it, I suppose. But yeah. But then again, like, a lot of people haven't still played those earlier GTA games. But I suppose it'd be interesting for those of us who are fans of all the games. And those of us who are even bigger fans of the earlier games, I suppose.
Yeah.
Rumor says that the delay isn't due to single player, which is 100% done, but to polish multiplayer. They expect 30 to 40 million players at online launch and need more time to ensure it runs smoothly. Well, I guess maybe they have some idea, or they can extrapolate based on views of marketing material as to how many people are actually going to buy the game. Well, they'd have some prediction.
How many people wish-listed on PlayStation would help them as well.
Yeah, I mean, but the very first trailer, so like before this new stuff has come out, that they might have gone, oh shit, this is actually really, really popular. Holy shit, there's going to be X amount of players, and we're not prepared for that. I mean, it's possible.
I don't know, but I don't think it's a... No. It's a good thing for GTA Online, though, that it gets delayed, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a good thing. You would think that if there's a separate team maybe working on GTA 6 Online, and this, in theory, right, would give them more time to develop a bit more content for the online version.
And
it
inform
can't be a
them,
bad thing.
And inform them as to what to expect in terms of player base. Because I see wish lists and all that.
Yeah. An extra, like, whatever the delay was, 6 months. That's enough time to develop, like, another DLC for the online, you would think, right?
That's certainly true, but I would say to this rumor, single player elements changed so significantly between trailer 1 and 2 in the way the characters looked, in entire redesigns in some cases. They're still clearly changing things about single player, and have been changing things in single player for the past 500 days. It'd be weird if there was like nothing left to be done. Like it was just done.
No, the delay, I think the delay was for single player. That's just a rumor. But what I'm saying is this is for single player.
Helps.
But
it helps,
also, this definitely does help the online. Like, gives them more time to cook up stuff. Like, yeah, of course.
Avery asks, are you going to do some speedrunning? GTA 6, not your bag, I imagine?
Me?
Yes, you.
I feel like I'm going to have so much other stuff to do for so long. I'll like never say never, maybe. Depends how much I like the single player and the story. But like, when online comes out, like that's, for me, it's going to be taking up so much of my time.
Yeah, even me, when I, given that my interests in everything that Rockstar has to offer has done nothing but expand, I don't have 5,000 hours to dedicate to speedrunning GTA 5 like I did initially. There's so many things I want to do now. Because I remember, I've seen footage of me playing speedrunning story mode back in the day, and I'm like, GTA Online fucking sucks. Garbage content. Why would I ever play that shit? You'll never catch me playing GTA Online as long as I live. And here I am like, hey guys, this is my 900 billion hours of me collecting all the awards in GTA Online. And that isn't just me running out of shit to do or getting bored of speedrunning. I legitimately enjoy online, at least in the way that I engage with it. And so so even the level that I'm going to speedrun is nowhere near as committed as I was. Getting into
there's just going to be so many other more beneficial things for you to do, like diving into lore videos, facts, glitches,
and even
online
more than that,
content, whatever you make.
There's going to be more stuff to do than GTA 5.
Because the game, like, how long is the single player for the average person in GTA 5?
Average person? Well,
like 20 hours?
How long to beat? No, it's more than that. How long to beat GTA 5? It's actually longer than so about 32 hours just focusing on main objectives.
And Red Dead 2 was about 60.
Yeah, it was double, I think. But main and size was 51 hours. Completionist was 57 hours. And so, like, doing everything. And this game is going to be even bigger than that. It's
you could be looking at like 50 to 100 hours just for the main story. Like,
be interesting.
And think of how much time if you're gonna speedrun it, each run will take twice as long, right? As well, which takes away from your ability to do other stuff.
It's a lot more manageable to speedrun GTA 5 today than it was around when it first released. Especially on console, there was next to no, because speedrunning was not as big of a thing when GTA 5 first came out, but there wasn't as much interest in the console experience of speedrunning because you're stuck with controller, you're looking at lower FPS and stuff. It makes more sense to start speedrunning when things get on PC, for example. Like, I'm not saying I'm not going to do any speedruns on console, but I think to what degree I take a more of an interest will be when it comes out on PC.
Yeah.
Why do so many people think that the boat in the picture and outside Jason's house is Michael's boat? Aren't those boats mass-produced? Yeah, so many things are mass-produced. But it's Rockstar. They know their game. If they're going to put a mass-produced boat there that looks exactly the same as Michael's boat, or at least very close to it, that's going to be intentional, right? It's not going to be a coincidence.
When people say this kind of stuff, I feel like they don't really think it through that much. Like, it goes back to the argument that we were talking about, whether those two characters were the same that have just been remodeled, right? Yes, it could be just a mass-produced boat. But when Rockstar is sitting there thinking of which boat to give Jason...
Yeah.
What is the more likely scenario? That they picked the one out of the 30 boats in the game that just happens to be Michael's, and they say, yeah, we'll give that one to Jason? Or did they intentionally pick that boat because it was Michael's?
And they
could have given him any boat.
Yeah, and they even put it in a picture in his house, right? Like, of all the pictures in the universe. And you got to remember, like, everything there is not procedurally generated. Everything there, every tree has been lovingly crafted and put in the ground for some specific, well, not for some specific purpose, but because a person has chosen to do that. And it is, I can't imagine it's a coincidence.
Like Alwyn here saying, probably using the same game asset. Like, when Rockstar is picking a boat for Jason, they have like 30 boats to choose from.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
So it's like, it's a 1 in 30 chance that they just happened to pick the boat that was Michael's.
Yeah.
It's much more likely that Rockstar intentionally chose the same model boat as Michael.
Yeah.
Because it's Michael's.
South Florida has both alligators and crocodiles. What are the odds that Rockstar adds both? Also, can we get a wildlife wishlist video? I think just based on the trailers that we've seen and the massive amount of different animals, it seems very clear that Rockstar is going to have a huge amount of animals in this game, and in part that's going to be for the hunting minigames. They'll expand on what was in GTA 5.
Are you ready for this Florida trip, Matt? Do you know all of the places we're going to go here? This is crazy. It's going to be crazier than the first trip.
You said there's like multiple different places that are like multiple
We've got to go to the
from
Keys, to Key Largo, where a lot of those screenshots from the Keys are. We won't go to Key West this time, but we'll go to Key Largo, which means we can drive there. So we can stay there for a day, like a night. We can go to the bar that Jason and Lucia were at in the Keys. We're going to go to Orlando because there is a putt-putt place that Cal is in that screenshot. That is a real place.
Oh, yeah.
We can go to that. We're probably going to go to Tampa or Fort Myers as well and go to some of the places there. We're going to go to Vice City again, to Miami, and go try and recreate some of those shots. It's going to be fun. I hope you're ready for this.
Yeah. It's a question of when, just certainly before GTA 6 releases, but I don't think we need to go tomorrow. Like, I don't think it's that much a rush or a need. Yeah. We'll
hopefully
get
this year if we can.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So from Marcus, do you think hurricanes would be in GTA 6? Would they be mission specific or not? I think that level of destruction can't be permanent unless it's like a fundamental change to the landscape or to the city for some mission purpose. I don't think they're just going to be chucking out random hurricanes every second day in GTA Online 2 or something, right? What do you reckon?
I feel like this is... Yeah, I feel like this is the stuff we'll get more info on closer to release. Yeah. This will be like a trailer 3 thing or like a gameplay trailer thing where they would reveal possible weather and how that affects the game. I wouldn't put it past them though. We know there's going to be storms, pretty intense storms. Like the car flipped over in trailer 1 that was on that bridge. That was during a heavy storm. You could see like flash flooding around the place.
Yeah, it's a good point where it's not necessarily destroying all the buildings, like flooding some places or just damage to things that already can be damaged or whatever. Like, yeah.
I'm sure there'll be like set points on the map that will change depending on the weather, right? Like they'll have a specific section of the map that would probably flood, you would think, right? Like it's not going to be the whole map underwater, but like certain car parks, for example, might be flooded and you might have to use a different street here or there. Like I'm sure.
I mean, it could be interesting if there's just some part of the map where at some part in the story, it's just destroyed as a part of the game. Yeah, like rather than just a building being destroyed.
They did that with 5.
Well, yeah, they did like buildings being destroyed and stuff, but not like an entire chunk of the city or something, right? Yeah, so like, they could expand on that. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, I see that. This from John is interesting. Thank you for the 5, man. I hope we see some movie posters with Michael's name on them in GTA 6. That would be awesome, actually.
The Nico posters that you see around the map in 5.
Oh, well.
The wanted posters.
Yeah, there's
but you'd have
posters.
Michael with movie posters.
Yeah. Seeing like Michael is a successful movie producer or whatever. I mean, his name's up in lights to some degree.
Yeah.
That would be cool. That'd be a nice way to reference Michael as being successful in achieving his dream. Yeah, that'd be wonderful. Yeah.
I'm really excited to see the Easter eggs.
Yeah,
because going into GTA 5, I had played like some GTA 4. I had played San Andreas, but like I wasn't in the world as much. But now, like when I know so much about all these games now, I'm really looking forward to trying to catch all these references and stuff.
How do you think cheat codes are going to be handled in GTA 6 single player? Will there be any? Will they continue to pull back on those? Because they might be competition for the online version or something, or they would be worried that you can spawn stuff with cheat codes and take them into online.
Cheat codes have always been a part of the game, but as the game gets more and more realistic with each release, the cheat codes have sort of died down.
Because they had a functional purpose back in the day. Because the devs used to use them to test things, and that we used to just basically get a lot of the dev testing tools that as cheat codes. Well, that's what I've heard anyway. I'm not a developer, so maybe the game's just gotten more complicated now, and they have more sophisticated testing and techniques and stuff. So there's not as easily just cheat code or whatever to give access to the players. I'm not sure, but I think there'll be some cheat codes because
I'd say there's definitely going to be cheat codes. Just
how extensive?
How extensive, pretty much.
But we've been going on for over 2 hours, which is a good length for a podcast.
We're yapping.
We did a lot of yapping, and it was good yapping too. I hope everyone enjoyed it.
Much more fun than last podcast.
Yeah, better mood, more to talk about, and hopefully we have even more to talk about in the coming weeks as well. And people keep coming back for all the episodes, and even if they want to go back and watch the previous episodes to see how correct we were in our predictions and how correct everyone was, because we talked about a lot of fan stuff in related to GTA 6 and stuff. There's a good episodes, even if they become outdated to some degree.
I'm pretty sure we both did predict that we would get trailer 2 pretty soon after the delay.
Yeah, to soothe over people's hurt feelings in regards to that. Yeah, we know our stuff sometimes.
Don't know if we would have said Tuesday.
Maybe not, but I'm saying if you ignore all the times we're wrong, we're always right. And that's why everyone should watch this podcast more than anyone else's content. So that's where we should leave it. Any last words, TG?
Thank fuck.
Yeah.
That's all.
Thank fuck. Thank you for watching. I wish you guys all the best. Bye-bye. Boop. I shouldn't boop in 6-star. That's a main channel thing. Anyway.
Wow.
This channel does not deserve my boops. Gonna save them up. They're a finite supply.
Damn. Okay.
Hey, did you hear? You probably, because you don't watch my stream. I've got these pimples on my chest, right? And I've had them for years. And it turns out the reason why I got them and why they've been so persistent is I literally overdosed on wearing tank tops. I wore tank tops for so long and so persistently that I've now got these this form of scar here that I can't get rid of. How insane is that?
Look, I appreciate the effort, but that is a very weird intro.
That's not the intro.